Hello and welcome to Poker on Air, the APL Akron Poker League final game of the season.
The final game.
Yeah, the final game.
Ready.
The top 7 point getters in the league, and they're joined by 2 wild card qualifiers that qualified last week. Tonight's game is brought to you by RFIDpoker.com, creators of the RFID table you see in action tonight. Book your own show on rfid.poker.com. Sorry about that. Interested in your own RFID table, standard oval and championship tables are available, built to your specification. I'm Paul Boston and joined by Bobby Miller.
That's me.
Trevor won't be here because he was one of the top 7 point getters in the league, and he'll be playing tonight.
And I can't wait to see what he brings to the table.
It should be interesting. Going to be a lot of fun tonight, and let's send it out to the table. Any predictions for tonight?
I mean, obviously I'm going to be a little biased. You know, I'm going with Trevor.
I'm going to also be rooting for my fellow commentator, but
well, there we
should
go.
be fun.
I'm going to try to keep all my comments, from being too hard on him. I want to give everybody a chance, but.
And Trevor picks up pocket fives very first hand.
Look at that. The prediction already setting in.
Chris Ward in there with 4 or 5 off. You'll see Chris mixing it up with a lot of different hands, especially early.
I like that too. I think it's more of a cash game mentality he has. I mean, he plays a lot of cash, so.
For Chris's dad,
being this deep early on, it's a good thing.
He's not your son.
I wish a lot more people would do that. Open up their range a little bit early on. I mean, you have all those big blinds, You just want to get in there and play.
Papa Z with second pair. Papa bets. Wow, I'm surprised there.
I'm actually surprised also. I mean,
Papa,
knowing his style, he doesn't do that very often.
With second pair. Yeah, that's
he's more of a just like check call, try to get to the showdown and see what happens.
I was just about to say I doubt Papa's going to bet that. Maybe we'll find something out here tonight about Papa Z we weren't expecting.
I mean, it is the final game. Who knows? We're pulling all the tricks out.
Oh, I'm okay with letting long.
I'm excited to see how everybody's play changes a little bit. It's the final game, all the points,
Yep. I think quite a bit of money at stake tonight. I believe almost $1,000 to the first place finisher. Oh, here we go.
Already the pain.
Trevor with ace king, Brad with king queen.
And from what I've seen of Brad so far, I've only seen him play a few times. He seems pretty aggressive, and he seems to know what he's doing though. So
the few times I've seen him play, he's been very aggressive with marginal hands.
Yeah, he likes to mix it up a lot.
Yeah, and then I've seen him lay down aces.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. You don't know if it's like a strategy of his or if he's just really, really smart or maybe just the opposite. You never know. That's the cool thing about poker is.
Let's see if Trevor rebumps this.
I mean, I'd imagine he has to rebump. He's on the button. It looks like he's doing something so crazy.
Yeah.
He's in position. You always have to raise here in this spot, I think. I mean, you're deep too. It's so early in the tournament. This is where you get to see what Brad has in his arsenal. Yeah. Look at that. So he's a good player. I mean, a lot of people would just call there with king queen and get themselves in a lot of trouble. I mean, if the king comes on the flop, you expect to see some fireworks a little bit. Somebody's losing some of their stack.
I don't know, especially this early in like a sit and go format. King queen in that early a position, I sometimes don't even call a bet with it.
Well, yeah, these people were playing the trophy. I mean, you would think they're going to play a little bit tighter. That's why I said I was kind of curious to see how things are going to change as the blinds go up and people's stack starts getting a little bit shorter. See who's trying to just hold on to the end. Oh, a player that mixes it up gets a big hand. That's
yeah, the craziest player at the table just picks up kings.
And that's one of the benefits of playing all those other hands, you know, opening up your range really wide.
And Brad's about to get re-raised again.
Oh, man. It's always good picking up big hands in the blinds also.
Yes, and I'm not sure how well he knows Chris.
I think it's talking about the hand right now.
It's one of those things, you know, this is where you can see how patient players are also. I mean, to be able to fold again if you get re-raised twice or 3 times.
Raise the 450.
Kind of a small raise. He may, I don't know, I'd take one off here. It's hard not to with that small a raise.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty tiny. I'd have to call too. You're in position. I mean, what are you fearing?
Yeah.
Even if he has a hand like he has, kings, and
you're still 33%
Yeah.
against kings.
Let's check out a flop. Look at that.
And he spikes the ace.
And this is like the worst flop you could always see when you have kings. You're feeling good about yourself pre-flop.
This is where you got to check behind. It's checked to you.
Oh, this is perfect.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I would have to just call. There's not.
Well, yeah,
there's no reason to raise. I mean, you're blowing all the hands you beat off.
Well, plus he re-raised him pre-flop, so you got to think ace king, ace queen's a possibility.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're only getting calls by hands that beat you. You're gonna run into a lot of higher aces here. Yep, look at that. He even shows him. You hate to see that. You know, you raise him and you have the best hand, and he folds a hand that you could have gotten value from. Like, you never know what Chris would do on that turn. If it's like say a deuce comes on the turn, and he has kings there, he might fire again just because, you know, there's a lot of other hands that Brad could be calling with.
Yeah, you're losing so much value if you've got the best hand. And if you got the worst hand, you're losing a lot of chips.
Yeah. But he still wins, and it is early. Who knows, maybe his strategy is just to be super aggressive today, and you know, he's going to do that with his good hands and his bad hands. Or he just felt like raising. He was just like, you know what, I have an ace. I'm trying to get some chips in this pot. I know Chris is crazy. Let's get some of them. The fives are hot. Vicky, the drink spiller.
Vicky also usually a very tight player.
Yeah, when she gets in there, I watch out. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
if there's any card that beats me on the flop, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not even gonna mess with her.
Yeah, when I raise and she calls, I pucker up.
Yeah, it's scary. This
Rick raises with the ace-7 off.
I mean, I guess I don't mind that. It's not. You're still. Anytime you're in position and you want to re-raise, it's good to put pressure on people. I mean, because look at Vicky now. I mean, she has fives. She's under the gun. She limped. I mean, she calls, but look at that flop. It's like, how do you know what to do when you have pocket fives? But I guess we just love checking back and forth.
Let's see what Rick checked it too.
I mean, now he's kind of got himself in a situation. It's hard to like represent any hand. I mean, you're just kind of.
If you're raising that and only getting one caller, you got to fire out. A
definitely, that's the whole point of getting heads up with hands like that. If you're gonna do it pre-flop, you got to commit. At least bet on the flop. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as long as they aren't both red on his antenna.
Looks like Rick took it down with a turn bet.
Which I'm glad he did that at least.
Yeah.
Got to put some aggression out there.
Because that changes the percentage because you know what card's not there.
It's just one of those things, though. You know, that turn comes a 5. It's like pain. You know, then you decide to bet, and you're just losing chips.
No, it's not. Good.
Rob, that's another guy. He's pretty tight as well. There's a few players at the table I'd pretty much just watch out for when they get in there. They don't tend to mess around too much.
I'll tell you, I've played several times with Rob, and he always seems to have my number.
He has it. It is. If he bets, he has it. There's no question.
Steve makes a huge raise with jacks.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Even got Trevor was sitting there thinking like, can I do something here? I want to mess with Steve a little bit. He's like, no, that's a little too much.
Yeah, I think Chris Ward's the only one that might call. And that's a might at a 7x raise.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. The only thing that may, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
call. He's a good player also. He knows about the whole math part of poker,
Right.
which is scary. Because a lot of people don't know that. They don't know there's math involved in poker. I don't know. It's
There
weird.
is?
There is sometimes.
What? I thought he's having a stroke there for a second. What did it look like? Let's think of Will.
I believe Dan just said I was having a stroke back here for some reason. I don't. Maybe because Steve's raise size.
Yeah, it might be.
My gosh, you're so mean.
Vicky with ace king.
I love when people get ace king.
Oh, this could get
Oh, yeah.
interesting. This could be a fun hand.
I'll let you know when it's your turn, sir.
Now this is going to show how Brad actually thinks about the game. I've been wondering.
No action change.
Seems like he's
No
pretty
action
good,
change,
so
you're
we'll see what happens. I mean, he's on the button with tens. It's going to be
It's
gonna be interesting.
In front of him with eights.
Yes.
See
now
what
that's
Chris does.
weird that he just calls.
Well, that was just.
Oh, I'm
that was
sorry.
the other
There's two
Chris with
Chris's next to each
ace-nines,
other.
Yeah.
275.
Oh yeah, of course he calls with the ace nine. He's in there. Yeah, I expected nothing less than the raise with ace. I mean, this is gonna get interesting. This is where I'm curious to see what Vicky does with ace king. I mean,
What would that be, Sean?
I feel like he's
Vicky
gonna.
will not re-raise it.
725.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
She
she's the type of player that
may-
looks at it like ace high is.
Yeah, she
That's all it
may
is.
even fold it,
She might. She has a raise and a re-raise in front of
Yeah.
her.
but
I feel like a call is in order.
yeah, a raise there by her would just chase so many people out.
Which is, honestly what you would want with ace king. I
Right,
feel like you want to get
exactly.
heads up, but
Calls me how much more?
let's see here. Looks like it's going to be a three-way
Her,
pot.
her flat call of me might have got me out of there with the ace.
It scares me, but then you're just getting too good of a price to fold a pair. I mean, you hit a set against two people, and one of them has, jacks plus aces, kings. I mean, you're getting all the monies. This is why I like a re-raise with ace king. I mean, she could have had so many options on this flop, and been heads up with tens. Would have been a tough spot for him.
I check.
Check.
Oh,
Vicky, check.
Okay, great. It's on.
It is on Brad. Brad raises 825.
Brad does not raise, Dan. Brad bets 825.
That's how we say it in Norton.
I feel like he corrected himself real quick. He was like,
It's
wait
a
a minute.
very small bet into the pot.
Which I like that bet. I mean, it's
Yeah, to find out where
to
you're
see
at.
where you're at.
Where
Look,
am
he
I
gets a
going?
call from ace high.
And I think he's going to get a call from aces. I mean,
Eights, yeah. Which that I don't really understand. I mean, you might be beating the button call
Yeah.
or raise. I'm sorry, bet, but you're not beating Vicky's call.
Check.
She calls, after three people pre-flop, she calls there's a raise and a re-raise, and she calls, and then she calls the bet on the flop. She check calls. I mean, that's scary. I think eights, I'd just be out of there. There's no way you're good.
I don't think there's any way in the world that Brad thinks he's good here. I think he's trying to get a weak jack off of him. Yeah, he's scared.
It's playing a little pot control. I mean, it's three ways and
Now
money
he's
card.
No, he's not.
The money card. But see, now the problem is eights
And
you
now
can't get value.
here's where I've seen him several times not get any value out of his
Yeah.
hands. Is making huge bets on this.
Well, see, and the problem really is, I mean, he didn't bet the turn. He
Yeah.
didn't continue on. I mean, they checked to you twice.
They can't be very strong.
It can't be very strong.
1850.
And you bet a small bet into the
Okay,
the
now
flop.
that I don't. That's not a bad bet. I've seen him blow bets in here like twice.
Just
the
bomb
pot,
it, you know.
Twice
Yeah.
the pot.
I mean, see, this has him intrigued. It's like, what hand with a 10 in it got there? And now all of a sudden, it's very confusing. I mean, the way the line he took, he didn't bet the turn, and now it's like, what can he have here? But also, what can you call him beat? There's not much. I mean, what would he be bluffing with? Maybe he has even hands that he may have checked down, like 9, 10 or something. Get some kind of gut shot. All I got there. It's hard with eights. But honestly, I feel like the eight shouldn't even have got there.
No. Once Vicky, especially once Vicky called twice.
Like we said, it's scary.
Yeah.
She's in the pot. It's scary. But it is early, so I guess you have a stack to kind of splash around a little bit and see what people are doing, how they're playing, how he's playing his button. You know.
I was actually a little surprised Vicky took one off there after the flop. Here's Chris Becker with the eights this time.
They're just going around the table. So far, every pocket pair has duplicated the next hand. It's been there.
And Steve's in the big blind. We'll probably get a call out of Steve with King Jack.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, when I play with Chris, I will call 100% of the time. Like, no matter what else. Like, I'm in there.
Sometimes I'll lose a big pot. But
sometimes I will, but sometimes he will just give me his stack.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
There's certain players.
I mean, you're gambling when you're playing with them sometimes,
Right.
but it's worth it. It's just one of those things.
There's certain players you know that you just got to get involved with, and sometimes not have premium holdings and just.
I don't even care if
ride it
I'm
out.
out of position, in position. I'm in there. And it looks like Steve agrees. I mean,
And then he leads out.
that's a mistake to me. If you're calling somebody that's aggressive, you check to him, you let him go. I mean,
that's a mistake Steve makes a lot.
I don't think it's just Steve. I mean, it's a lot of players that do that. They want to bet out.
Right.
They're scared of what's going to happen on the turn, or they just want to end the hand.
I got a pair. I got top
Yeah.
pair. I got to bet now.
I feel like they think that they're going to get value from their hand by betting out. Like, how much can I get by betting? But in turn, it's kind of counterproductive. They want to check it and let the other player hang themselves. Especially Chris. That's one of the players you always want to. I mean, he's aggressive. He wants to get chips in there.
All my chips been the same. No transactions for 100%.
Hey, we finally got a hand with not a whole lot going on.
Right now, C3.
That's what poker's all about, you know.
And Rick raises ace rag again.
He likes them hands.
Evidently.
He loves them ace rags.
Two Chris.
And I learned early on those hands are the ones that will get you in so much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
They're hard to play, especially early.
There's very few people I'll even call with a hand like that.
It's just tough. You get in a lot of
Yeah.
tough spots. Even when an ace hits, you're just
What do you do?
clueless at where you're at. And you play a player like me
Just got
that
to play that you hope you win.
right. Just hold on.
I do a lot of opiates before I get back there. Letter flows out.
Next level blind will be up to 50.
All right, that's the last hand. This will be the last hand of these blind levels, and then they're going up.
Not yet, but if I will be, I will be all. It's gonna need to be.
Oh, Rick with the ace-4 under the gun. Let's see if he continues his trend.
This one's suited though.
It is suited. I mean, that might really entice him. He's getting spiced up. He's seen that hand.
Raise it now.
He's like, I have a nut flush opportunity? Of course.
And he does.
Okay. I was gonna say, if he doesn't raise this hand and he raises the ace-8 one hand behind, that's an odd strategy. But at least he's consistent. And he might actually just get all the way through here. I don't see it. Trevor does like to defend. I mean, that's his new thing. I don't know if he is applying it to this game, but I've watched him play a lot online, and he likes to defend a lot from the big blind. I mean, especially with a small raise. Yeah, that's
I don't hate this, especially somebody that's raised, you know,
I mean, he's
three
raised
or
a couple
four hands
times
already. You know he can't have.
And I don't know what
hands.
Trevor knows about Rick either. He might
Yeah.
know that it's something he likes to do. And here we go. This is
Oh,
such a
wow.
sick, such a sick turnout here. This flop is just amazing. And I like the bet. I mean,
Yeah, if you're gonna raise with ace-4 suited and flop like that,
it's not blowing anybody. Is somebody else in the pot too?
it does look like. Chris Ward may be in the
Chris
pot
Ward
also.
is in, and we can't see his hand. So this is a mystery hand.
Chris called, Trevor folded.
Be nice if he yelled us his hand. No, just kidding. Ask him his hand. Tell him to yell it
Chris
in.
Ward called 250. Trevor folded.
Let's see what happens here.
We're going back and resetting this. The person operating
No, he has
the
8-9.
board.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. Second pair.
Now in this round, 250 bet from Rick. Don Trick. Chris calls.
No, I don't know. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, well, he's yeah. He
Did we see a
doesn't-
turn?
Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's a turn call, right? Yeah, it was a queen of clubs. Okay. Now we're back to live. Now we're gonna see a river. See, I don't know. I don't know about calling twice. Calling the flop, I can see it. You know, you have second pair, but
against
on the turn,
nut
it's like-
flush.
yeah, on the turn, you got this guy. He's raising in the gun. I would assume he's tight. I mean, just from looking at him, and I always do that for players I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
gonna assume they're tight early on. I mean, until I kind of get some info, unless you know something I don't. But it's just a waste of a call on the turn. It's
Yeah.
just, you're never gonna.
And he bet like 3/4 of the pot with the nuts.
Yeah, I mean, and then the turn comes a queen. It's just another bad card for you. It's scary.
One time around the table.
You don't have a
I
draw.
had to bet like 150 or something on those just to try and get
Right.
a call.
Just to get a little something. But that's one of those bets that it depends on who you're betting against, I guess, because I look at that like that's strength. Like, oh man, he doesn't want me to fold.
Good players tend to do that.
But it's tricky. Yeah, it's a tricky bet. Sometimes in those situations, if the other player shows weakness and I do river the nuts, I like to just bomb it and just try to get as much as I
Right.
can. Maybe they'll make a hero call with like a low pair or something. You never know. Confuses him. Why would he bet so much if he has the nuts?
Like your
Who knows? Because I did it.
It's gotten me in trouble a few times. That bet just makes no
It makes
sense.
no sense. Yeah, if he has the nuts, why is he betting twice the pot? I have a pair. I just need to see this. I need to see what he. Oh, it's the nuts.
Okay.
Okay. Future reference.
250.
Brad makes it 250 with ace-9 suited, and did Rob really just fold ace-jack?
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Okay, they
I
went
was about
back.
to
He
say,
called.
there's no way. I mean, I understand I'm playing a little tight. It's early on, but man, that's
Yeah,
extreme.
I hate this call.
Yeah, Steve, that's stuff that can get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Queen Jack's just one of those hands.
Especially with a raise and a call.
A raise and a call,
problem.
and you have to look who's calling. I mean, you
Right.
see Rob call. That's kind of a red flag right there. He's calling. I mean, it's-
Trevor calls with the best hand, pocket sevens. And I'm really not.
All right, that's 5 he is.
And Rick calls out of the big blind with
Rick
king
says, "You know
5
what?
off.
There's 4 other people in here that have called this. I can't resist."
And he hits the best hand.
And that's why, I mean, from the big
And-
blind, it's not a bad thing to defend with crazy hands. I mean,
And
it seems crazy because, oh, it's king 5, but I mean, it just depends on how he plays it.
Steve flops open-ended. and
he's
he
just gonna
leads
bet
out.
He says, "Look, guys, there's 5 of you in here, and I have a king. So look at this bet that I'm doing right here." Not only am I gonna bet, but I'm gonna bet an amount that nobody's ever gonna fold.
I was gonna
250
say,
into 1250.
I would not be surprised if Rob took one off here.
I
Yeah?
couldn't resist.
Oh yeah, because if you spike it,
You
can
never
win
know
it.
what the turn. I mean, ace high could be good. You never know.
Yeah.
And now, I mean,
And
Steve
Steve's
has to call.
gotta call.
Yeah, he can never fold this. I mean, I'd have a hard time even as Trevor. I know I'd have to fold, but it's just like,
Yeah.
it would just pain me. Like, man, look at all that money out there, and look at this bet.
And now what do you do with King 5? You bet and you got 2 callers.
I
And he
mean,
leads out again. Wow.
he got the same amount. Now, if I'm one of these players here,
I
no matter
raise
what
it.
I have, I raise almost automatically. Just because it's going to put him to such a spot. I mean, what does he have that he's betting 250 twice? I mean, the pot is, there's 2,000 in the pot. I mean, I have to make a raise. I'd raise it to like 1,000, and then shut down if he continues to get aggressive. Like here is Steve, I would definitely raise. You have outs. I mean, you never know. Now you kind of are stuck. I mean, is he the type of player that would fold top pair? Even here, it's an opportunity to raise if you really had the guts. But it's tough to do. It's tough to do against him.
I may have raised the flop. Probably the turn. But
Yeah, now you're
I
kind of
don't thi-
stuck.
yeah, I
Now
don't-
you're calling. Now you have to call the 500 almost because you never know.
spike the queen.
Yeah, you hit the queen on the end. It's so tough. You don't have to call. I shouldn't say it like that. I mean, you have to assume he has a king. He's bet twice.
Unless Steve
Yeah, that's a
makes
good
a good
fold.
lay down.
The queen's almost irrelevant at that point. It's just
Yeah, when he let out so small on the flop, with an open-ended straight, I'm probably gonna raise it just to see what happens.
and that's where I differ from some of these guys because I would have to get in there. I would have to raise it up. I mean, I'd rather be more aggressive and then have to fold after I've been aggressive than to just give up free money to King 5. That's pain. Like I'd watch this back and I'd be like, man, I knew he was weak.
That always kills. That's what gets me out of tournaments faster than anything. Is I know the guy's weak and I know it and I know it and I still can't beat him.
It's just the problem is, like I said, you never know if he's the type of player that's going to fold King 5. So that's the thing you have to find out first. Is he going to fold a garbage hand like that, or is he just going to hold on?
That crippled me last week. I played a hand where I called a raise with King Deuce because I knew the guy was weak. Pre-flop. I hit the deuce and called him all the way down, and he spiked a 6 on the river.
Yeah, and there you go. And you're like, man, what am I doing with these hands? But you just have that feeling, That's why I like aggressive mistakes rather than passive mistakes. I'd rather be
That's what I
aggressive.
said to
than make a
myself.
mistake.
I should have check raised him on the flop. I
Yeah.
knew I was good. Instead, I just call him all the way down and lose.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Trevor taking one down, getting a.
Did she just fold? Just open folded the ace 5 from the button, or from a big blind?
I don't know what I thought.
Looks like it.
Huh. That shows you how tight she is. I mean, she's not trying to
Yeah.
mess around.
But she won't. She will not mess around with ace rag.
I don't like ace rag that much, but from the big blind, I mean, there's only one raise from the button, especially
and
from
cut
Trevor,
off.
and I know he knows
well,
like
that's-
to always raise the button, and it folds to you, you're gonna raise.
There's certain players I'll fold, big hands to.
Yeah, you have to
then-
call though. You have to
Right,
call.
There, I'm calling Trevor.
You have opportunity to make
probably
a straight.
95% of the time.
Exactly. He's raising any ace. Also, you could very well have him out kick like she did. He has ace 4. It's interesting, blinds, big blinds versus button raises. There's a lot into that you can do with that. I'm at least calling Trevor though. I gotta see, ace
Right.
5. I flop a wheel or something. It's heaven. Especially if it has like ace queen, ace jack, ace king, something.
And if Vicky even understood her image a little
Yeah.
bit, to re-raise some people
Definitely.
every now and then without a monster.
Now here's Trevor doing some cash game tactics, calling from the cutoff with the 6-8.
I don't mind that.
I don't mind it. I still feel like, at these early levels, people are playing really tight. They're trying
Put
to
a little
limp in and
raise
see
in.
flops. Yeah, I mean, raise it up 600 something and see what happens. It's dead money out there.
Oh, Trevor bet the 300 on the flop too.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like,
And
backwards.
And Vicky just calls with the trips.
I mean, if she's folding, you know, ace rags and stuff, I'm sure she'd fold. Well, I don't know. King 8 is suited. She might see a flop with that. I don't know what everybody else is doing. Well, I guess, I mean, yeah, gut shot.
Oh, it checked around to Trevor last time and he bet. Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
why not take a stab? But he's good enough to know now that he's never doing anything else. And she's never betting anything else besides a king.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think she bets a jack. Who knows? It's hard saying.
And it's just so obvious. Oh, Chris called with his ace?
Yeah, this is interesting.
That's,
I don't know what I don't know.
I think he
thought two pair with ace high was
yeah.
good, that she was just, you
she's
know,
never betting an
barreling.
ace there.
She's not betting ace. I don't think she's betting any pair either.
Yeah,
she's
and
gonna see it. So I don't understand it, but to each his own, you know. He's trying to make the hero calls early.
Yeah.
Get him out of the way.
I think he outthought himself there.
Well, that happens a lot in poker. I outthink myself all the time. Level myself into making some crazy calls.
Believe me.
I never talk about them though. I just fold.
I always
just muck them.
I always talk about him.
I don't know what happened. I just muck my hand in silence.
I've been playing so bad and running so bad for about a month and a half. It's just ridiculous.
Well, see, this is the karma right here. He makes this hero call with ace high. He's wrong, and you know the poker gods are like, hey, we're gonna give you kings at this next hand and see what you can do with them.
And let you pick up the blinds.
Yeah, let you pick up the blinds. Let you pick up your close to half your callback and
That's not even
feel
close
better
to
about
heaven.
yourself. Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
Ooh. Oh, just call.
This is one of those spots. I've done this before actually against Chris B. I've done it against him. I've called with kings when he's raised and played a hand.
Yeah.
And he ended up sucking out on me, but I didn't mind the way I played it. I mean, it's good against him. You want to,
Oh. He raised it.
which it's not
Which
bad.
I don't hate either.
I mean, it is the correct way to play. If somebody's raising and showing strength, it's just against a button raise from a loose player like that. Sometimes it's good to play your hand a little bit abnormal. I mean,
Well, I especially like to spot there with Brad, who can sometimes get.
you might get him, yeah.
He might raise.
And you know Brad knows how to play. He might
Right.
you might set him up for a squeeze if he
try
has
to squeeze. Yeah.
But I mean, still always raising with kings pre-flop is never a bad idea. So I'll never knock somebody for re-raising.
No.
But
I would have just liked to seen him play it. I would have tried to play it a little different there.
it's just one of those spots. It can go a number of ways, and it can go really bad
Right.
fast
Well,
too.
like I said, the way I've been playing, the flop would have been 6-7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or it would have had ace jack, and it would
Yeah,
have ace
exactly.
something. Because you know kings are ace magnets.
Yeah. No matter what decision I've made in quite a while has been wrong. All right, not a whole lot going on here. I think if Chris Ward's got threes, he'll probably raise it up there.
Yeah, especially from the button. If he doesn't, I will lose respect for his game. Thank you.
And that should take it down, but Brad's going to call with the
I mean, he
queen
has
five.
suited cards, and he's in the small blind.
And Vicky calls with jack 7.
Now that's a different play that I haven't seen her do.
Brad
She's
with
not
the
one to
straight
defend.
draw.
And this is interesting though. Like if you look at this and you're like, seeing her, she calls from the big blind with jack 7, but Trevor raises to one bet and
Yeah.
she folds the ace 5. So it's kind of interesting, to see how people differ.
And he
different-
c-bet with 3 overs out there.
Why not? And then she folds. This is those things that I don't understand sometimes in
Yeah,
poker. If you're defending and you hit a pair, I mean,
and you got
PL1
the
at
button
least.
raise, take one off.
And you know Chris is betting. He's c-betting every time. I mean, he's raising the button. He's always going to bet. He has that smile on his face. He's so happy. He's like, you know, poker's easy. I raise pre-flop from the button, and then I just bet the flop. That's all I got to do.
I wish it ever worked like that for me.
I know. It's fun. It's fun watching it work because you're like, man, how does this
That's
happen?
exactly how it's supposed to go.
It is. Try telling the people at the horseshoe that. I don't think a hand goes like that ever.
Yeah, no,
That jack is holding on to the river. They're never holding.
Here's Chris with eights. Oh, Rick with his ace rag.
And he's basically the button. I mean, cutoff is good enough for me. I call that button number 2. Button +1. There he is. Hey, I'll give it to him. He's consistent.
Yeah,
He's not stopping. He has an ace in his hand. He's
he
going.
loves any ace, that's for sure.
And I feel like, you know, he does kind of have a tight image. I mean, he just looks like that guy. He looks like a Vicky, you know,
Yeah,
just
no,
real tight, just like never playing anything.
I've played enough with him now to know that he's not.
But you know, you kind of
But-
stereotype a little in poker, and from my
Oh,
point, like
absolutely.
not playing with him, I would look at him and say, you know what, I got to fold to him every time. I mean, until I see what he shows down, and he loves hitting him too.
Uh-oh.
This is gonna be fun.
Uh-oh. Now,
This is where what we were talking. You know, you're playing ace rag, playing it from early position. You're raising. You get yourself in these spots, and this is one of those spots. Now, I'm curious to see how he plays this
I
hand.
think Chris is hoping he's got like ace king. Yeah, Chris raised. Which I don't hate with the flush draw.
I don't hate it, but also
I think if he knew some of the hands this guy was raising with, he may have just flatted there.
I mean, there's a lot of hands that, again, like we talked about earlier, you're gonna blow off just because you're keeping a flush draw from there, which is not even a
Right.
common hand.
Right.
You're blowing off a lot of aces too, which
On
you have the best player
and
you're against though.
He called with the 5.
This is great. I mean, he's calling, so now he's skeptical. He's thinking that this guy's just raising. Oh,
And
that's interesting.
Chris just blew him off the hand here, I think.
I don't know about this bet.
Yeah, he's never
The
called
raise
at
on the
all.
flop, all right, you kind of have him hooked now, you know. So the turn comes. I feel like you should just bet again. I mean, if he checks you and he's curious, get as many chips from that guy as you can.
Well, now I gotta watch. We can't.
Yeah, you know, throw 1,000, 800.
Yeah, there's 3,000 in the pot. I mean, bet 1,000. Bet the same bet that you raised last. Who cares? Whatever you can get, it's better than nothing.
No, they don't know.
Dan,
It was
I
folded.
might want to shuffle those 4 in there too.
Only Dan will know.
And I believe our blinds are going up once
Dan,
again.
what was the river? Don't tell me.
I believe there'll be 1-2 now, or 75, 150, I think.
Yeah, that hand was
Yeah.
very interesting.
I'll just say I had the best.
75, 150.
I think he would have gotten a lot more if he would have just
Yeah, he-
called the guy's bet and then on the turn made a raise and then bet a nice value bet on the river, on all rivers. I mean,
you know, and maybe the guy spikes a 5 on the river,
you never know what can happen. Or he's just curious
or
enough.
spikes his another ace.
He might just not fold an ace, ever.
Yeah.
I don't mind the raise on the flop though. I just feel like he should have bet way smaller. And that's the thing about that I've noticed a lot about this game is people's bet sizes are pretty
Yeah.
weird
I
sometimes.
got a huge hand. I want to get all my chips in
Yeah.
right now.
And the goal is to figure out how to get all your chips in on the river,
Yeah.
by the river, not as soon as possible. you want to try. You're trying to trick your opponent. You know, you're trying to get all the chips in there you can.
Yeah. That's cool.
I don't see anything crazy
You
happening.
know, I think there's only like 2 hands there that possibly call, or 3 hands maybe.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you
two of them beat him.
Exactly. You have to think that.
Yeah, the only hand that he could possibly call with is ace king that he's beating. The other one,
Yeah.
you know.
And here
his
he's getting a
aces
call
or
from ace
queens.
5.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's to say the least. I mean, I would never want to blow off an ace, any kind of ace. Ace deuce. I don't want him folding. I want him in there.
We got 18-minute lines.
So what did this limp around?
It
Looks like it
looks
limped around.
it. Rob flops top pair. Vicky bottom, and not a whole lot else going on.
But remember, he plays really tight, so
Yeah, he's gonna.
with the deuce kicker, I feel like if any interest is shown in this pot, he's just going to kind of check it down. But it doesn't look like his opponents will want to find that out. Vicky says, no way. I just called for the flush opportunity.
Yeah, sometimes you think he's a little rockish, but I've seen him call down some hands
Yeah,
that just absolutely made no sense for him to call.
it's weird sometimes, some of these
And
hands
he's
that you
called,
see.
like a few times on me, I've hit flushes and straights on him, and, you know, raised him on the flop, and he called me so fast, I'm going, damn, I wish I could have bet more.
Yeah, like, man, how come I can't get those calls
Yeah.
when I know I'm
You know,
got it?
I'm like, I'm going to try and get a little bit out of him, and he'd call me so fast and muck. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Things change too. A lot of these players, you know, you don't know what happens. Maybe when they go on tilt, or you know, later in the tournament they're not getting anything for so long, they just spaz out and they'll get in there with all kind of crazy hands.
Yeah, we got a couple hands going here that might get a little action going.
Let's see something clash here.
King 10 suited, 10-8 suited.
150 to call. The blinds are 150 now. 75, 150.
75, 150, and we got a min raise out of Rick with King 10 suited.
Well, naturally, he is under the gun +1, and he is suited.
Well, he
And
didn't
has a king.
realize the blinds had gone up. He thought we were still at the other blind level, so
okay.
he didn't raise enough. So it had to be a min raise.
But that does not change the fact that he was trying to raise with King 10 under the gun +1.
I think a lot of people, especially guys that don't play a lot, don't think about position of their hand.
Yeah, it's mostly their hands.
They're
mostly their
playing-
hand
yeah,
strength.
They're just playing the cards in front of them and not thinking about
Which is
much else.
great. I love that. It's my favorite thing ever. It makes my job a lot easier when I'm in there mixing it up. Oh, this is a fun flop.
Yes, it is.
Now, I always hope for the pain, so I am hoping for a jack on the turn. I just love pain, so. Plus, it's interesting to see.
I
I
would
mean,
just like to hit the club draw on the turn.
jack of clubs, please.
If he
Nah, I
bets
think
again,
most aggressive wins.
I don't think. You know, well, when that second queen hits, Chris sometimes does not believe there's, and rightly so, that you have a queen.
It's
It makes
difficult.
it so much harder.
It makes it less likely, but you still have to look at this guy. He min raises under the gun. He meant to just raise.
Well, I'll
Second
tell you
queen
what,
comes, he has no fear. You know.
After watching this, I'm going to be playing Rick a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing him a lot more too. I mean, I can't wait to get in there with him. I'm like, oh, he raised under the gun. I'm not scared anymore.
Exactly.
I'm 3-betting him. Let's have some fun. Everybody just ready. This is the group. They've made it. They've battled through the whole season. Final table. They're here. They're ready. Everybody wants to win. Who doesn't want a trophy? Who doesn't want to be first place?
We get no trophy for this one.
Well, just getting
Just
first place
cash,
alone, that's
yeah.
a trophy. That's a trophy in my eyes.
The trophy goes to the final league standings, but this is a bonus game here with a lot more cash involved than we get during the regular season.
I did.
Chris Ward raises with the ace jack. Vicky with the ace rag suited.
Again, interesting. I feel like she looks at her aces and goes just by solely the kicker. So like
Yeah.
ace 7 is higher than that ace 5 earlier. She folded that to a raise.
I think the suited might have helped her.
the suited definitely helps, but it's just it's an interesting thing to me.
Which I really never understood. Uh-oh. This could get her in trouble because she's never going to believe Chris Ward.
And honestly, I would call with ace 5 before ace 7, but it is suited, so I don't
Right.
mind it. I don't mind the call. It's just see if she can get away from it after a while. I mean,
She has
it's a
trouble.
tough spot.
Oh, a 9 here would
And
just
now
be,
she picks up the gut shot, and
7 or a 9 here would be brutal.
My pleasure, sir.
This is what happens when you play hands like that, though. You get more and more outs pop up, and you're kind of stuck to the river. She's never folding. She's like, I have my ace could be good. I have an out. You know, who knows?
And she may think they're chopping.
Now we could chop possibly if he has an ace. This is a rough spot. I feel like the type of player she is, she can find a fold here, though.
No, absolutely
She
not.
snaps.
Yeah.
Good hand.
She, as tight as she is, even with top pair weak kicker, sometimes has a hard time getting.
I think
away
that's an
from
unfortunate run out too for her.
Yeah.
I feel like that made it seem like they're chopping
it. Yeah, they could
a lot,
possibly have
which they could be, but I feel like that's a tough run out. That's honestly probably why she called. That 6 hit pairs the board. It's hard to fold there.
We'll all play for bets.
Look at that sweet deal in action.
I'll come first.
Chris's reputation also gets him paid off quite a bit too.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, that too. I mean, when you're playing, I've noticed that when I play, a lot of people, like, they know I kind of know the game, so I feel like it gets me paid off a lot too. Because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, he could be tricking me, or he could be doing this. And, no, I'm just playing my hand. I'm just betting. I have a hand and I'm betting. Oh, yeah. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, I'm getting
Chris Ward in with King 6.
And this is awesome for Trevor's spot.
God bless you.
Yeah,
The table likes to limp, you know. Hopefully some more people limp. You can raise it up, look like you're stealing them dead blinds out there. But it doesn't look like he's gonna get much action.
5 straight.
I do like the raise. It's not too large.
Chris just won a pretty big pot. Let's see if he tries to get lucky here.
Absolutely. This is where the levels come in. He knows that Trevor knows how to play. He knows Trevor recognizes there's a limp. Nobody can really have much, you know. What a hard flop for kings.
I still think you got to lead out though.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think it's a hard flop, but not necessarily. I mean, Chris limped. So, what hands is he ever limping? Ace Jack, Queen Jack, under the gun? Is he ever limping any of those type of hands? I doubt it. This is very interesting. This is a level war.
Oh, and Chris is free rolling now.
Yeah. So unfortunate for Trevor.
A
I mean,
backdoor-
majority of the time this is gonna go chop chop, but like it's so
Yeah.
unfortunate. If a spade hits on the river, it's just there's almost nothing you can do.
Yeah,
I feel
you're
like
never
Trevor's-
looking for it.
Trevor's a good player, but it's a backdoor flush draw on top of that. It's such a sick spot. And Chris just got really lucky. I mean,
Yeah.
you play a hand like that, you're floating, and it looks
Okay,
like it's
at
just gonna
least
end up in
it-
the chop.
Yeah, at least the spade didn't get there.
That would have made me sad because Trevor is my horse. But
Yeah,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
that's just brutal.
I like the bet, all in. Why not? Call, chop it up. And Trevor's gonna be like disgusted. Like, really? You limp called me with King 6.
And thus, that's exactly why Chris gets paid off a lot.
Yeah, he shows this hand down. I mean, if you're at the table and you see this and you see the hand he just played, you're gonna start to wonder sometimes, like, what's this guy over there doing?
Sorry.
I hear you, man. He's calling out to me. He knows I'm back here. He knows I'm back here, feeling his pain.
He's like, did you see that?
And if I was Chris, I would be like slightly embarrassed. You know, you're playing these hands, like these crazy hands.
Oh, there's nothing he does that's embarrassing.
I know
Chris.
it doesn't, but I would feel, I don't know.
Why did I see?
It's not a tricky thing to me to play King 6 like that. It's something that'll get you in a lot of trouble. And
Yeah.
he just
You're
lucked out.
Yeah, that's all when you're calling limp call rolling hands like that. That's all you're doing is just trying to get lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not much. And if he would have re-raised, I could see something like that. You know, limp, and then Trevor raises and he re-raises him pre-flop or does some things like that. I mean, then you're actually trying to play the hand. You know, I mean, he is in position, so I will give him that one thing. But other than that, I mean, it's usually not profitable to play hands like that. But it works out for him. He does get a chop. He gets saved
Oh, Papa Z might finally be in a hand here. He does not like to fold pairs.
He doesn't. But he will fold the flop.
Papa Z being the only man I've ever folded kings to pre-flop.
And you were right, probably.
I don't know for sure.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, there was. It was first line level,
Oh,
25-50.
yeah.
There was a raise in front of me. I raised with kings to like 400, and he made it like 16.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to play, you're basically playing for stacks. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, majority of the time he has aces. I don't think he even does that with queens. I mean, that's
I've seen him do it with kings. I'm like, well, am I
either you have
gonna-
the same
am I-
hand or you're
yeah.
beat.
What are the odds he's got the exact same hand?
That's one of
Or
those
I'm
players you can
crushed.
almost guarantee that you know.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's going on.
Chris, Chris
Look at Steve getting in there, just calling pre-flop, hitting the open end straight
Papa.
draws, and Papa hitting that set. Look at that. Wow. Now what happened here? Did Steve bet out and then Papa raised?
Looks like it might be, and Papa made a big raise.
Huge.
Yeah, that's one thing about Papa. When he's making big raises,
And he's gonna show. He's always gonna show it. Look, I had a set. Steve's like, whew, man. He's like, that's the hand I wanted to go against though.
and Steve's going, why didn't I just check call?
Yeah. Why couldn't I have just seen a turn and got there on him? All those chips are mine. That would have been a good pocket cam.
Oh yeah,
Hands like
rabbit
those.
on it.
Yeah, rabbit hunt. Be interesting to see the outcome if the hand was played different.
Papa Z, you set up fear at this table.
Trevor's tilting a little bit. He's not gonna. It's
He's
not
not
gonna affect
gonna
his play,
yeah.
but you can tell he's like a little, still shook up about that hand a little bit.
Oh, I would be too. That's why I tend to just vent right away. And,
Yeah, just get it out.
and just say what I want to say, and then it's gone.
Well, he's learned to be a little bit numb too.
Yeah.
I mean, the game causes you to do that after you've played it
Oh.
for a while. You have to be. You have to detach that emotion. Because that's what gets you in a lot of trouble. You start playing back at somebody because of spite or.
Yeah,
out
that's
of-
one thing I try not to
Yeah,
do.
Papa Z called. Flip forward, blinds, call, one check. Chris check.
Yeah, when Papa Z raises pre-flop, you know it's a monster. He doesn't even raise nines here. He's on a hijack.
Oh, no, that's not.
And look what happens. You will get out-flopped if you limp your hands. That checked all around? That's
250.
okay. I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting.
Looks like Chris bet 250 there.
Wow. And the other Chris has some devious intentions for this river. I feel like, and he might actually be able to do something.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, with as wacky as he plays, he could represent it too. He could have some type of two hand. And not with that bet. You'd have to really bomb the river to make me believe it.
I never understand. If you're gonna bluff, you gotta make it.
I mean, it still is. It looks like a value bet. So I mean, in some people's mind, but it's just like one of those
It's
things.
not.
and it
Oh
works.
my God, it did work.
It's just because it looks like a value bet. It's like hard for him to call, even with the king. Like he has king 8 there. It's like, what am I calling? You know, what am I gonna beat here? What is he value betting on the river that I'm gonna beat?
They're
But it's
eating
interesting,
chocolate-covered strawberries.
You know, up against Chris that he plays that hand that way,
Yeah.
but then up against Trevor he plays the king 6 hand differently.
I don't understand that.
It's a weird thing, and that's what I was talking about. Over time, you're gonna see, you know, the game is gonna bring out people's skill. You're gonna see how they play hands and how they change what they're doing depending on who they're up against. That's what makes poker fun. You have all these different opponents.
Chris Becker could have any two cards there, so
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'd be hard for me to fold top pair to him.
yeah, for that little bit, I couldn't. fold
Especially
to him.
still early in the tournament. I mean, I want to know what he's doing, you know. And there's no such thing really as information bets or calls or whatever, but that's one of those you could maybe title as one. Like, I'm gonna see where he's at. Let's see what's going on here. It's cheap information.
You know, and he's won a few pots, and he's got a decent stack. I would have taken one off, just called there and seen where he was.
But it is easy for us to say because we know he's bluffing. Who knows? I may have folded king 8 there.
Like I said, he's one of those players where he may beat me a big pot, but I don't fold very often to him. And
Look at
Chris
that.
Ward flops trip fives.
Just getting in there, small blind. This is why limping is so evil in this game.
Sadly for him,
Yeah, nobody's really
nobody's got anything
really feeling
right
any
now.
of that. But Steve will take a shot. He's in position, which I've noticed this about Steve's game. He's kind of evolved over the time I've played with him. You know, he used to be really, really, really tight, and now he's kind of been mixing it up more and more. The more I play with him, the more he surprises me. And I don't mind it. Everybody checks. Why not? Let's take a stab. Just unfortunate. He's run into a 5.
Now, what would be fun here is if he picked up a draw here.
Like that. Not the best of draws, but still,
Yeah.
it's a fun one. Gives you a reason to stay around.
Oh, and Steve bets again.
This is why I'm just not a fan of limp pots. Like when I play, I like to
Yeah.
be more aggressive. I'd rather be out early and have been aggressive and trying to win than to just limp in every time and go 4-way, 5-way to the flop. I mean, it's hard to play that way.
Especially when you get the blinds in there, because they could have, you know, a little Hollywood in here by Steve. There's
See, the
no way-
raise, this is the stuff I don't understand. You have a guy being aggressive, an ace hits on the turn. You want him to have an ace. You want him to have
Right.
a big hand. But you don't want him to fold. So, you know, if he's continuing to be aggressive and show that he has a hand, let him continue to do that on the river. I mean, you can,
You know, he's got about a 6% chance to win the hand.
yeah. I mean, let's take it
All
up.
right, and that will be our last hand. We're going for a 10-minute break, and we'll be back to get this going again.
See you guys after break.
Oh.
That king will get me out of there.
Interested in your own RFID table, standard oval and championship tables are available built to your specification. In case you're interested in being a sponsor for our upcoming Season 5 of Chase the Bracelet, we are still looking for sponsors. You can contact us at www.pokeronair.com. We have great options for sponsorships still open, and return on investment is guaranteed. All right, let's get the game in action, and the cards in the air.
I am excited for this level. This is where it starts ramping up.
Yeah, well, we've had plenty of action so far, so I don't see it slowing down. Not right now.
Yeah, you have to imagine if it's been that much action
Yeah.
early on.
Especially when we start, you know, the short stacks are down to getting close to 20 big blinds, the danger range.
Brad and Rick, maybe?
Okay.
It's where the fun
Action on
begins.
Rob.
Chris and Brad and Rick.
Yeah, right. Look.
This is why tight is right a lot of the times, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
You get so short that you just can't
yeah.
really even play anymore. You have to shove your stack in there and just hope and pray.
Yeah, when I get down to around 20, I don't want to get down much lower than that.
Well, you've seen me play.
Yeah, I'd much rather go home now than sit there and, you know, muck, and get down to 6 big blinds
Right.
and get a hand and can't protect it.
My most common words are all in.
Yeah.
Raise announced.
And here we go. We're not seeing the cards.
And a call.
Not sure what the difficulty is here.
But it looks like we're heads up between Brad and Vicky.
Brad
And
raised and Vicky called.
looks like he raised like 525, 600. I can't really tell, but somewhere around that range. And she calls.
Tony, we do not have cards showing.
And just that easy. Comes up ace, queen, 9, I believe.
You're going to raise and take it. Or bet and take
Ace,
it.
queen, 6, and that's as easy as it is, you know. You raise pre-flop and you bet on the flop, and boom, you have no more chips.
Yes, sir.
That was just my first hand. I'll get in the groove. You guys shouldn't have to worry.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Boom.
All right, we've got the cards back here.
It's technology, you know.
That's
Scary.
that's why we run these games, to work on all the kinks.
That's what the
Alright,
players are here for too. They're working on their kinks.
and Steve under the gun.
And a fold. Up a fold.
Trevor with King Jack. Let's see if what he raises it to here.
Now there was a point in time under the gun
5.
+2, I would fold King Jack.
Oh, really?
That's pretty ridiculous. I don't remember those days, but I know I did it.
I hate to say it, but I think I still do sometimes.
It's scary. It's a scary hand to play that early.
15 fold.
But he's gonna get all the way through.
And that's why you raise it.
Look, he's feeling good now. That's that instant emotion.
Thicker cards, aren't they?
He was all going on break thinking about those kings hand, and now he's wins a little pot. It's like, all right, I can do this.
If you can't handle it, get Dan back in there. I think I can handle it. I'm just kidding. I know.
Papa Z with his bright T-shirt. He always has the funnest T-shirts.
The largest collection of T-shirts on Earth, I believe. Especially poker T-shirts.
And at least 6 of them are something about nuts. I know that.
Trevor just insta-mucks threes there,
Yeah.
550.
which I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's hard. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
fold pairs, but what are you gonna do with threes? You're set mine, and that's it.
You're out of position. There's a raise. What do? You got to spike a set.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people can't do. It's really hard to do.
I don't mind calling a raise in position with them if I can, especially if it's somebody I know I can stack if I hit.
Right. Somebody like Chris B.
I look down in a position like Trevor's in now under the gun and look at my first card. If it's a 2 or 3, sometimes I don't even look at the
just
second.
just instantly muck in your mind.
I don't even look at the second one.
It's nice. I do that a lot also. Save time.
Oh, there's another one?
No time to be thinking of putting extra thought about these hands. These cards.
Uh-oh. 2 big hands here.
This is gonna be fun.
Going up? 550. Chris Becker.
Let's see how big a re-raise Steve makes it here.
What is he doing? Oh, it is.
4 folds.
Oh, these guys are nemesis. I hear.
Yeah, they have a history.
I like that even more.
And I was here for the hand that created the history. I was sitting right in between them. Chris flopped the nuts straight. Steve re-raised him all in with top pair, no kicker, and went runner, full house.
Oh, man. That had to feel good.
Chris, I think it was almost 2 years ago, and Chris still hasn't given it up.
Well, this is what we're going to see.
1525.
This is great.
Up a fold.
And, I mean, some people play ace-king tight, but I have a feeling Chris is not one of those people that's going to...
I think he'll flat here.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean, they're still deep enough to where he doesn't have to go crazy, but...
And a call.
Yeah.
All right. He's giving himself an opportunity to get away.
Which I don't mind that play one bit. If he was shorter,
I mean, he's in position as
Yeah.
well. I mean, it's not a bad situation. Now, this is going to give him a little bit of reason to stick around. His ace high could be good.
backdoor club draw. Steve
Could be raising him with any
though
ace.
could move in here. Yeah, Steve's moving in.
425.
And that's the majority of Chris's stack, so he'll be folding.
He's like, I'm out of here. Who knows? Steve could have hit a set on the turn. We could have seen fireworks if they got it all in.
Yeah.
Well, at least I got a little pain in.
Button's good.
You know how much I like the pain.
Oh, I love the pain, especially when I'm not involved in it.
It's the easiest thing to watch.
Yeah, Steve's not one to mess around. When he gets his big hands, he likes to just ship it.
Well, yeah, you've seen when he hit that. What was it? A set earlier.
Yeah.
He was on top of things. It's like I'm in there.
Yeah, I do, but it's fun to watch it on.
Rick, see what happens here. If he gets an ace, any type of ace, he's going. You know. Now it's gonna fold around a little bit.
Rob with king queen suited. Let's see if raises it up here.
Grand fold. Picking fold.
I think Rob might.
550, Rob.
Yeah, he does raise it. All right. I thought he might just call there.
Top of fold.
Which is good.
Trevor with the jack.
This is the spots that I was
5.
talking about. It's rough. He's
Yeah.
like, he really wants to call, but he decides, you know what? There's no reason to. Not against Rob. No reason.
I've got a philosophy early on. I don't like to defend too much with weak to marginal hands.
I can agree with that.
But later, when the blinds get high,
There's two different ways you can go too, though, because Rob's tight. So you would think like, oh, I don't want to play many hands against him, but then sometimes that's the person you want to play those type of hands
Right.
against, just because he's always high cards and Jack 5 suited. You never know.
Don't call if you watch it.
And he's been known to bet on any pair he hits. We've seen that.
right.
Talking about your old lady again.
Brad with ace jack. Sure, he'll be raising it here.
She's gonna come in here one day.
Now we get to see what Rick does in the big blind with an ace.
My dad ain't no German.
And a raise in front.
Yeah,
of
you've
him.
seen him. Yeah, you've seen him. He likes to do the raising early, but now he's
550,
on the end where he can call.
fold. Rob fold.
Let's see how
I'm
much he
gonna fold around.
really loves that ace rag.
Steve
Somebody's
fold.
not on there.
Papa folds. Trevor fold.
Working around.
And
Steve.
moment of truth.
You did not. I did, but no one. Now on Rick. Everyone folded.
Oh boy, I got an ace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, what
Look
I
at
do?
that pain.
What I do with this ace rag here? I usually
Oh.
raise this. Somebody raise what I do. I'm folding too. Yeah, good fold.
Yeah.
I don't. That's funny.
You can tell it just pains
Oh, he
him
hated
to
it.
fold an ace.
He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble here. But it's good that he folded. I'm happy about that.
I am
Makes me
too.
feel a little bit better about what he's doing.
I'm alright.
And we have a new dealer this session.
Paul Moskowitz is dealing. We got rid of Sausage Fingers Crafting for a little while.
Weird though. Should make it a long time.
And it's probably nice for him to be sitting on the other end of the table, not having to
I try.
have anything to talk about, bad beats, nothing happening to him.
Vicky with jacks. Let's see how much she makes it here.
550 by Vicky.
Seems
That's not bad.
Yeah, seems to be the standard raise right now. It's 550. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll tell you what, in most of our league games, it's seems to be like a 5x raise. It's the
It
standard.
usually is. It seems like there's no math involved when it comes to the blinds. It's just
Yeah.
I think this is a good number. It's a pretty big chunk. Let's try to get that in there. Sometimes I feel when people raise, they don't even think about how much they're actually raising. They're just grabbing chips that seem enough.
Well, I got to bet a lot to get people to fold. So
Yeah. Or they go with the I have a big hand, I'm gonna raise bigger.
yeah.
I have a small hand, I'm gonna limp in. Medium hand, I'll raise a little bit.
I like to mix it up now. Sometimes I'll make big raises, sometimes small raises, min raises.
See, I'm more of just, I kind of stay thorough. Like, I'll try to just stay the same amount
Yeah.
every time.
You get me some of that.
I feel like it's harder to get a read on what you're doing if it's always the same thing, whether you have any, kings, 10 jack, whatever.
I played in a tournament down in Columbus recently, their Sunday deep stack, where the average raise was like
550 by
8x.
Oh man.
It was, I made a couple raises, you know,
Well, see,
two
that's,
2x and 2.5, and people acted like I was crazy.
that's the thing is people get the those deep stacks. People start to go crazy with it because they just have so many chips. It just feels like they can do anything.
Oh, it was just, it had 30,000 in chips, and there was people, the first blind level I saw a 30,000 chip pot.
Oh man.
Blinds are 25, 50.
See, to me that's like impossible. I don't
Yeah,
you'd have to have like quads versus royal or something.
Oh, and it
like
was
to
it was
do
two
that.
hands that I wouldn't have called a raise with.
Yeah.
And it was-
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand.
well, a lot of the problem was it was a rebuy.
Hey, you gotta be
Oh,
ready
see,
for
that-
the wild
The
card.
first 4 levels.
That makes things get pretty crazy.
Oh, and they were too.
Is the button good?
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you have, it's almost like people that have deep pockets in the cash game. So you almost can't phase them. They're
Yeah.
gonna just rebuy. It doesn't matter.
We had one guy in the first 2 blind levels at our table rebought twice.
Yeah. And I like that. I mean, it adds to the prize pool. It's pretty cool. That's one of those things. You just play super tight until after rebuys are over, and then you can
Yeah.
start messing around.
But the thing is, you can get so short stacked.
Yeah. There's a fine line. That's
Yeah.
tournaments. It's just it's a crazy game. It's a finesse. Kinda stay afloat.
I actually would like to go down and play it again now that I played it once.
Yeah, deep stacks are always fun.
I made a pretty decent run in it. I don't know.
Pittsburgh has some really good deep stacks also.
We had over 100 players, and I finished like, I don't know, 24th or 25th.
Not bad. Looks like Brad just blast the set, no problem.
Yeah,
Limps in, gets sets.
and checks it. Good
Easy
for
life.
him.
Let's get like a straight draw for
Yeah,
Chris.
at least something. Yeah, full house. Now that'll be nothing.
Over to Chris Becker.
All he can hope for is maybe like somebody to hit a pair on the river. Hey, that's not bad. Why not check it around? You know nobody has anything. Hoping
like-
somebody has a queen. Now this is where this should be different. If Brad is smart, like I've been thinking he is, I feel like he'll just call. I mean, if you assume the guy has a queen, you don't want to. You can raise to get value, but that's the only thing you're really raising to get value from. So anything else, you want to keep him in. So I feel like he's the type of player that knows that, and he's gonna just call.
1,000.
Yeah, see, that's
Maybe
one,
not.
The one thing I've noticed about him is he
Gonna call? Or heads up?
Oh, that's
Chris called.
he called with. I don't know if we're seeing the cards right, but we must be. I don't. He has some devious intentions here for this river. I mean, maybe we are. Maybe he was trying to make something happen. He's on the button. He's gonna try to do something.
17 is the bet. 1,700.
See, if he wouldn't have raised, he could have checked this river, and
You
had
know
him.
what I've done here before too is not look back at my cards and remembered wrong.
Yeah, that does happen. But see, now he has him folding.
Yeah.
And it's a fold.
I mean, he did get a little bit out of him by raising on the turn, but I feel like he would have gotten more if he would have had he just called and then on the turn on the river checked, because you're not gonna get much value from anything but a queen. And if you think he has a queen, he's probably gonna bet it. I mean, maybe
And Chris
not.
there with King 10 and it's such a short stack. Why are you
Yeah, I mean,
calling a raise there? I
if
can see
you're
firing at it.
if you're betting that amount, like close to him being all in basically on the river, you're assuming that he has a queen.
Yeah.
And if he has a queen, he's gonna call regardless. But also, if you check to him, he's probably gonna bet. If he checks behind, oh, it sucks, but that's the way I feel you should play it to get the most chips.
I mean, if it's going bad, I mean, the
I
button
think
is
the
good,
only
right?
reason he got any more chips in it is Chris.
For some reason, wanted to float and see the
Yeah.
river. I don't know. I don't know what he's hoping for. Maybe a king would come, still get in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, even when you're getting raised there, even if you hit your king, what are you gonna do?
Well, I think he had. I think he had an intention to bluff on the river, and I
He
feel
may
like
have.
that's exactly what you wanted him to do. That's why even checking is more of a reason. You know, if he's calling your re-raise, I mean, see a river, let him do it.
It's forward.
Put his chips in.
Call.
Vicky with 3-5 suited. These are my new favorite hands.
3-5.
Yeah, well, hands like it suited one gappers.
Yeah.
Just,
They're mysterious.
oh, if you
They're
hit
hidden.
them, you can win huge pots.
That's actually I hit the bad beat with that hand, 3-5 suited.
Oh, really?
Called $60 pre-flop from the button. I was playing 2-5 though.
I think I'm first, but okay.
Oh, okay.
It was awesome.
Here she's hit second pair.
Check.
She doesn't want to make two pair now, though. Now she wants it straight to get there.
I don't know. Oh,
Bet 200. Bet 4.
yeah, it's
Never
not
getting
gonna call
called.
anything.
Yeah. Rick with his ace rag again.
He's in there. He loves it.
I'm not sure what would have happened if he would have bet the flop. I don't know if Vicky would have called with second pair.
I mean, we seen her earlier. She called with like, I think it was Jack 6 or something like that, and Rob had 10 deuce, hit top pair, and she just folded to one bet. It wasn't even a question,
Right.
you know. So who knows what she would have did now? It's hard to tell.
That's why
Hey, we are,
against a real tight player, I always see bet.
Oh, 100%. I see bet probably more than I should, to be honest. I get carried away with
Well,
it.
I don't see bet enough, but there I think I would have.
I just feel like it works too much to not do it.
never fold.
Steve raises with king queen and Papa flats with ace jack suited. Rick gonna call
Rick
with
call.
sixes here, I bet.
Chris
For sure.
Chris Ward,
Chris
queen 4. I would never presume to guess what he was gonna do, so
Vicky fold.
Vicky will fold. I will
Yeah,
say
everybody's
that.
folding back to Steve, and we're gonna see a flop 3 ways.
3 players.
And I'm hoping for a fun one. Pain. That's all I want to see is pain. There's pain.
Oh,
You have 8.
A small type of pain, but it's pain, nonetheless.
Papa does not like to fold top pair.
Oh, definitely not. To seal the deal, we would just need to see an ace on the turn, and I feel like we'll have our first
Or a
casualty of the game.
diamond. Or another diamond.
Yes, another diamond would really also,
Calls.
Yeah.
but an ace would seal it. Another diamond
Yeah.
gives him an option.
Oh.
Ouch.
And
I-
Bobby called.
Am
for
I
it.
in this to win it or
Bobby
what?
called it. This could get ugly.
Now it is the ace of spades, so that could slow some action down, but I don't feel like it. It could slow down. I mean,
Now-
Papa is kind of,
Now
A
an
tighter
ace
player.
or a jack.
yes. Oh, this is awesome.
Oh, and Papa's gonna lead.
He did
now.
kind of get saved though because it's a spade, so I don't know. He might be able to get away from this.
Yeah.
he just call the river?
Yep. Just
Oh.
Papa bet. And Rick called.
See, now if that was 2 other players, this hand would have went way different.
Yeah.
That was a safe call by him with the set. I mean, I guess
Well-
he played it pretty good.
With the spade out there, I know Papa Z, if he's got the flush when I bet the turn, he's gonna just
Oh my God.
chip it from.
Yeah.
Almost chip it. So I'm thinking my set's
Feel better?
I would always think my set's good there too.
yeah, especially against somebody as tight as Papa Z is, because when he gets the nuts, he's betting and raising.
That's just one of those hands that you're kind of in awe when you're at
Yeah.
the table and you see the hands flip over and you're just like, man, how is that pot so small compared to
Right.
the hands that you've had?
Yeah, I definitely would have been had a big pot going there.
I mean, especially with as many chips as Rick has. Yeah, Rick. Especially with him having a bigger stack. I mean, you can afford to raise there and then fold if he re-raises. I mean, he for sure has the flush then, but there's a lot of hands he's going to call with that are not beating you. You have a set, you know, ace jack, perfect example.
Trevor bet 7.
Trevor raises his
Fold.
sixes.
Fold. On Brad.
Which is interesting because he folded the 3s. You know, you wonder what the cutoff is
Right.
for
Yeah.
him to raise and not.
Vicky
Maybe he's
fold.
just feeling his oats right now. He's like, I have 6s. You know
Rob
what?
folds king jack in the small blind without even hesitating.
Not hesitating. He's like, you know what? I'm not playing king jack out of position. Trevor's raising early, and he takes it
And
down.
Steve folds A7 insta-muck.
And this is just giving him some chips, some
Yeah.
love. He's feeling it, staying in the game.
I'm not sure I could have folded King Jack there. Or
He was in the
even
small blind.
A7.
I mean, it's tough from the small blind. In the big blind, maybe, but it's just one of those things. You're always going to get caught in that situation, you know. You're going to be out of position to the razor if you don't hit the flop. And even if you do hit the flop, it's kind of hard. Go, get it.
Chris Becker with ace-10 suited here. Rick with ace-8 suited.
Now, if we know anything about Rick,
It'd be a
what do you think's
raise,
going to happen here?
And he does. A big raise.
That's huge.
And we have a raise all in.
And Becker ships it with ace-10.
And that's only like, what, 1,600 more? I mean,
yeah.
this
I
is the
mean,
situation you get yourself in, I guess. What are the blinds? One and 200, right?
Yep. And that's a problem I've
Wow.
gotten myself into before too.
See, this is where
Raising too big and committing yourself with hands you don't
well,
want to
that's
get
why
committed.
I try to do min raise or like maybe just slightly over min raise every time, because then you don't get in these situations. I mean, if he was to raise to like 450 here, I don't think he's gonna shove 2,800 anymore. I think he
Right.
might call the 450 or he might re-raise you a little bit or something. It's just one of those spots. It's just 6 times the big blind. That's pretty extreme. I feel like you can't fold now. I mean, if you're gonna raise
Yeah,
that much, you can't fold. You have big stack also. I mean, he's gonna call for sure. And there we go. So it's the
And
battle of the
Chris,
suits.
Chris is a 60% favorite.
I did not expect that week of a call.
And ecstatic that he's got what he's got
so
now.
happy. And if I'm at the table, I'm actually happy too. I'm like, please double.
Oh, wow. Rick
That's-
makes an awful play and flops the world.
4 card straight.
Not expect that week of a call.
And there it is.
No.
Even the other Chris saying, I didn't expect that weak of a call.
Yeah.
Which you don't. You don't expect
No.
that weak of a hand for 1,200 pre-flop. Usually when people raise big, they have big hands.
Yeah, that hand, flabbergasted.
That's one of those things in tournaments, you know. He's short stack. He's getting it in with ace-10. He makes the right play, you know.
And
you
gets
just
in a pretty big favorite.
can't help it. And I don't blame him for it. He made a right call. I mean, sometimes ace-10 with me, with somebody raising that big, I might even fold it when I'm short stack, but
Right.
it's not a bad thing. I mean, he read the situation correct, and it just the cards were not on his side. And our first casualty of the sit and go. And then there were
At least we
7.
found out he's willing to raise big, weak, and call light.
And I think everybody else did at the table. So they're licking their chops now. They're like, you know what? This guy has the biggest stack at the table, and we're gonna try.
And he just makes another huge raise.
Now this is interesting that he's doing this, which I don't mind it. I mean, everybody's gonna be kind of scared of you now. They think you're crazy. I mean, he's picking up. Well, how many chips is he picking up there? 450, something.
300.
300.
No, I would say a lot more face
300, 350.
I don't know. I'm a firm believer in it. What you're risking to win is sometimes
It's not worth it. But I mean, with his stack, he's it's not a bad idea to put pressure on everybody. I mean, if everybody's folding and playing really tight, and you have a huge chip stack compared to everybody else, why not? I mean, I do that quite often. I'll be raising quite a bit. And then what happens, you know, here this hand, he picks up jacks or queens or something and does that, and somebody's like, you know what? I'm going to get
getting
this
tired.
guy.
Yeah.
Get sick of this guy raising.
I've done that several times too.
And that's when you get him.
I'm sick and tired of it. I'm making a stand here.
You set up the trap, and then you get it.
You got a couple ace queens here.
This is going to be a fun one, I feel like.
Papa Z and Brad.
Here's what I see happening. Brad's going to raise, and Steve's going to call, and then Papa Z's going to call.
And then Brad will bet the flop most likely, and Papa Z, unless he connects big.
Let's see if we can tell the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Steve's gonna call here. Oh,
I mean, he's in the
I'm wrong.
cutoff. He's
Calls.
in there.
Papa Z calls. Trevor folds.
See, I would have loved to see Papa Z ship it there.
Trevor folds.
Yeah, I mean, he still has quite a bit of chips, so he's 20.
Oh, I thought
22
he had,
big
Yeah, I
blinds.
thought he had like a little less than that.
These are good. Yep.
A raise would have been nice, though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what was it?
Especially-
750 raised to like 2,000 or something, and then you know you're gonna ship on all flops. Yahtzee.
Oh, yeah. Papa Z's absolutely never folding.
He has the nut flush draw.
2 overs and a nut flush draw. Oh, look at this. The diamonds they're all holding are ace, king, queen.
I know, it's sick. I mean, I feel like this is kind of a rough. This is one of the flops I may not see bet, and I see bet a lot of flops. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's so draw heavy. You have two people
Yeah,
call in
it's
front of you.
so wet.
1750.
Oof. What
If
a
I'm
rough
Papa
bet.
here, I
All
just
in.
ship it.
And then Steve's all in. I don't know now. I mean, you still only have ace high. You do have a chance at the flush, but it's just
Yeah, I was
that's
surprised.
all you have.
55.
I don't hate it though.
I don't hate the play by Steve either.
No.
I mean, if Papa folds, Steve wins the spot. I mean, there's nothing.
The hell with it.
Oh man, he
Yeah.
does the whole the hell with it and calls. Well, now Brad definitely has to fold. He can never call it. He can never.
55 is the.
Steve's drawn to a king or a jack only.
I mean, he does have a big stack, but he's,
45.
I don't know if he wants to give up that many chips for a chance of what hit it, your
Yeah,
queen
he's-
high flush being good. I mean,
He's ace, he chops. The flush he loses, the queen he chops. You're calling to a chop.
yeah. Well, that's if he thinks. I mean,
Yeah, that's
if he thinks they have the
if
same
nobody
hand.
hits anything. You're calling for a chop. That's a big call just to chop.
We'll see. But in his eyes, he doesn't know what their hands are. So
Yeah.
he's. I mean, anything can be. Somebody could have ace nine. You know,
Yeah.
ace nine with
then,
the ace
you're
of diamonds and. I mean, there's a straight that could have been flopped.
Yeah, there's no way you can call
10-7. I think he'll be happy about the fold. I don't see
Yeah.
why not.
Papa's a pretty big favorite here.
And Steve's gonna be sad,
950.
but he's not out either way.
Well, he's still got king and a jack. He's got 5 outs.
Well, either way, he's got 2,000 or 1,500 more chips than Papa. So
See if the best hand holds up this time.
I like Papa's logic though. Oh, what the hell? And boom.
And yep, Papa takes it down.
Yeah, ace.
Papa wins a big pot.
I had a call. I had ace.
That's a triple up.
Sorry, Papa.
He says, I have to call. I have the ace of diamonds. And this is why I play poker.
Thank you.
Steve got, see, that's what I was talking about. He got a little spazzy right there, a little
Yeah.
anxious, and just, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
what all it takes in these tournaments. One thing.
Steve sometimes does that. He overplays some hands.
Yeah. That was definitely one of them. I mean, he had king high. There was no draw for him to hit except for the flush.
Yeah,
And that's,
You're shipping it in a spot where even if you hit, you may not win.
right. And that was the exact situation.
Yeah.
If he hits his flush, it doesn't
I
matter.
didn't know you were in the hand. I thought it was just person. Action is Brad. Brad folds. I don't know that you would call my own. Picky folds.
Yeah. Papa never met a flush draw he didn't like.
I doubt it. 'Cause,
Rob,
I
I
mean,
mean-
he's getting better money.
Help him out,
I
right?
mean,
And so
actually-
he's not calling you all in no matter what. No matter what he touches.
Trevor
In other
folds.
words, no matter what BS he's trying to say.
Yeah, he's not gonna call. So he's pretty-
Players are discussing what BS is all about for that last game.
Option, is that a check? Okay, our heads up.
Rob calls because he's suited
Heads up the flop.
and he's in position. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, Chris.
Chris flops bottom 2. It's a hand I usually like to lead out with.
375.
Absolutely. There's no reason not to. I mean, limp pots, you just got to get the chips in.
Yeah.
You got an ace under?
And we'll see how Rob plays a draw here. I'm kind of anxious to see.
Oh.
Look, I had the Doyle.
Get there out of the big blind. Come on.
What did I miss? What was the action?
Chris bet 375 and won.
Yeah, bottom 2 is just so vulnerable.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, look even there.
Yeah,
You're up against a gut shot. And
Yeah, and there's like I said, a straight draw, flush draw out there.
the board compare.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything can happen.
All right, button is good then?
Yes. Father.
Vicky, please. Vicky, full. What the hell?
Rob with an ace 5 suited.
Let him come back.
He'll limp in.
Or call, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Why not? It's suited,
Pop a full.
and there's an ace. I see no other reasons to not be in the pot. Trevor's absolutely going to raise here.
Trevor raised 850. Rick folds.
850. That's a good raise. I like that.
Chris folds.
See what Brad does here out of the big blind with ace 8.
I feel like he's going to fold. I mean,
I know I would, but
it's tough to say. I mean, he still has a pretty good stack compared to the others.
you're just behind so many. Yeah.
And I have a feeling this is
He's
one of those hands.
Oh, I thought he would call.
I had a
really
feeling
did.
he looked like he was going to call, but I didn't think it was in his style.
You have respect. People are scared when you put money in. Put money out there.
I tell you what, you gotta be careful there too, because he'll limp there with ace 8.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
got to watch out. He's tricky like that. He wants to see flops as cheap as possible, but he only sees them with good hands. You hear Chris like, oh, look at everybody respecting your bets, Trevor. Well, gee, you showed down King 6 and other crazy hands. He's can't be disappointed. He's created that image for himself.
I think he's only had to show down 1 or 2 hands.
He
and
showed down 10 deuce there, that last one, for no reason.
53. Actions on Rob.
It's just a pair of suspenders.
Chris Ward with ace king and Brad with ace 10. Rob with 8.
Fold.
And he just limps on the gun with the 8s. I have a feeling he's not going to be completing here.
Yeah, no.
Pumps it. 750.
Brad keeps getting these weird spots with these aces. He's like, man,
Yeah.
I really want to do something here. And this might not be a bad spot in his eyes.
Yeah,
Because
especially
I would look at this,
a
yeah.
limp and a button raise.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, and this guy next to you is showing, 10 deuce and king 6s and all these hands he's playing.
I wouldn't even be surprised to see him raise here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, if he's going to play the hand, I think he absolutely has to raise. I don't think you can just call here.
Call.
Oh, the
And he did.
William and Kate.
William and Kate.
I just feel like that's not.
Yeah, Rob's never folding here.
I mean, if you're gonna play ace 10, you want to put some pressure. You kind of want to win it, because now you're creating a three-way pot. Also, now you're gonna have to worry about what Rob has. You're kind of squeezed in between them. It's a hard spot to be in.
I think you get a lot of free.
You can sell the house.
Yeah.
You get free just to
Brad.
be there.
Just sell the house and you got some money, right?
And that's not a bad flop for
You
eights.
got equity.
Just show up.
Good.
Please, did you know how much?
Yeah, Chris is a c-bet here.
As if New York needs more.
Which is a scary spot to see bet in when you have a small blind call you
75.
and a limper call.
Break again.
Prince William
No.
Sound, so close to
I got
control.
That's not accurate.
1175.
Chris. Brad folds and Ron.
Yeah, he's never folding an overpair here.
I mean, I would hope not. At least not on the flop. There has to be a little more action in front of me for me to let that go.
You get a bonus.
I mean, if you're gonna fold here, why call?
Exactly.
It's up for 2 blind.
I mean, some people just set mine with their pairs though, so
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like that's the thing he's doing right now. He seems like he's really thinking about it.
Time for
Yeah, this is
I think he's thinking about raising.
No. No.
You don't think Rob has that in his
no.
arsenal?
He's thinking about calling. I've seen him in this spot several times, and spots where it's a no-brain call takes forever.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And he'll end up calling when he takes this long, about 90% of the time.
None for you.
And
I almost never have seen him raise here.
All in is a no.
there we go.
Wow.
Told you. I seen his mind cooking. He wanted to do it.
Take 75. Put 400 more over here.
And I don't mind that. I mean, if you call and then the turn comes, you're just going to be hard spots. So, I mean, I guess if you're going to do it, why not just do it?
Put that in the pot.
Put it
that's
in.
the pot, and that's what's up.
Put the man to the test. Because now he's in a really tough spot. I mean, he's wondering, what the heck is this guy doing? Is he doing that really with the 7? Really?
Shame I gave it up.
Because I wouldn't put a guy on pocket 8s doing this. And see ya. Not a bad play.
Yeah.
I mean, you would hate to see like a high card come on the turn too. I
He
mean,
does. Actually, I have seen him do that, and I've actually got completely irritated.
He's like, what the
I'm
heck
like,
is going on?
yeah,
here?
what's with all the drama? You know you're going all in. Go all in.
But you know you gotta
don't have
set-
to take 10 minutes to do it.
Part of the poker game we play here is acting. You know, you
Yeah.
have to set the stage. You gotta.
Yeah, I've accused
Gotta
him.
let him-
I have accused him on an occasion or two of being quite the drama queen with
Oh,
stuff
hey.
like that.
Sometimes it pays to be. You flop the nuts. You don't want to act quick. You want to just take your time, take a few breaths, act like you're contemplating all the math of the situation, even though you just know what you're gonna do. Works for you sometimes.
We have an all in. 9.
And here we go.
Steve with King 10, and he will get
I
called.
mean, he has
by
1,500.
nines.
He's got to go.
Yeah, he's not folding for respect. He's just folding because he gets.
Waiting for what the hell, why not?
1,500.
You might even. Ooh, Chris is calling with
calls.
He'll double you.
5-7.
This is a little spewy to me. That's a lot of chips. I mean,
Yeah,
lines are going
that's
up.
a big percentage of his stack.
Not only that, it's just these chips are becoming more and more valuable as the blinds go up. I don't really understand what you're trying to accomplish by calling and all in with 5-7.
Yeah, I mean, you're just.
It's not a smart play. In the long run, you're gonna just lose and lose and lose. He's giving up. He's basically just giving away those chips every time, almost.
Steve flops the best hand.
And now they're gonna just check it down.
Only a 9, 5, or 7 beats him. And Steve doubles up.
Did the math.
Triples up.
Triples, yeah. Triples up for no reason. Could have been a double up. Now all of a sudden he has almost 5,000 chips. Not a bad deal, you know. You get forced to shove with King 10, and you get 2 people calling you.
And I'm sure Steve thought he had lost the hand.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one person calls you, you're kind of like, oh, okay, we might be racing. But 2 people call you, you get a little worried, especially when you have a hand like that.
Is that wild? I don't know what
King 10. You see an ace hit of the flop, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, somebody's an ace. I'd had my coat on and been halfway out the door.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's good to do. I heard that's what makes you hit the flops.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Get ready to leave and you'll hit the flop. Or you just call it out like I do. I just say, look, I'm going to hit a set. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It happens.
Hey, there's 2 more 6s left. I'll hit one.
Steve, that's a triple.
I remember that.
You go get the sign.
Dan just now realizing the math of the situation.
I legend spike calling just for
You
that.
know, I never saw that until the wild card game.
That's because it wasn't made until the wild card
Oh.
game.
This
tournament would have been fun with a knockout. Oh, absolutely.
How about you first, sir?
Uh-oh.
My horse gets a hand.
Against another hand. Another short stack.
Blinds are 1,200 right now,
I
right?
think they went up.
1,050. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
assuming
it was
it's
2-4.
2-4.
It's 1,000 out there. Vicky could ship it here.
Yeah, I mean, she has 10 big blinds. She has pocket 10s. She can't really afford to just call this. And she has to go all in. That's the only play she has if she's going to play this hand. Anything else
Vicky
is
calls.
ludicrous.
Yeah.
Rob folds.
See, that's where sometimes she's too tight for her own good, which here may actually.
It could
Turn
help
out
her. I
good,
mean,
yeah.
I mean, if she can get away from it. But if the flop comes all low cards, it's very difficult.
Right. Yeah. It
To
comes
get away
six
from
high
it.
flop or 7 high flop.
And then it
she's
makes
in-
you think. You know, if you're going to fold, a hand, then you might as well shove it all in pre-flop.
Yeah, Steve, when Vicky calls here, her short stack, Steve shouldn't even be thinking
Oh,
about
definitely.
calling King 9. Steve went
That's,
all in.
That's not correct.
Oh
See?
wow.
What a beautiful flop. And it's going to be hard for her to get away from this.
Yeah, because Trevor's going if she's got queens, kings, or aces.
Yeah. And if she's folding here on this flop, oh, he's
Jacks.
all in call.
And
I was going to say, if she's folding on that flop, she shouldn't
Yeah.
even play pre-flop.
exactly.
Just putting too much of your
And,
stack
and,
at risk.
I'm out.
and Trevor knows if she's got kings, queens, or aces, he's getting re-raised pre-flop.
Definitely.
10 and the 10 only.
Nice hand, Fred.
Yep.
Damn.
That'll be it for Vicky. She played well. She hung in there.
Hey, Vicky.
And it's unfortunate. Jacks versus tens.
Yeah,
What are you going to
it's-
do sometimes?
Yeah, when you get shorts down to 10 big blinds, you get 10s. It's pretty
One of
much.
those nights.
I'd have had it in there pre-flop.
Oh, yeah.
Same
And-
result.
Now Trevor is happy. Yeah, the end of that hand pretty much was the same as it should have been.
Right.
Just got in there a little bit different.
Kind of like that Eddie Jungle song.
Like, also reference the worst earworm in the world.
Is the button correct? Yes.
Exactly.
Well,
what you did.
Vicky just walked back here and said, "What are you gonna do?" Well, the only thing I'd have done, Vicky, different. Well, but it had been the same thing. Yeah.
400 to go.
But at least you would have felt really good about
Yeah,
it.
you'd have been the aggressor, though.
All right, let's see here. Whole lot of nothing. And now what are we down? 7-handed now?
8,
Vicky.
aren't we? No, 7. That's right. We
Seven-handed?
started with 9.
Going up.
Yeah, so now it's going to be getting to that point. Start to get to short-handed. We lose one more, that's when we're going to start seeing some,
Steve fold.
hopefully
Yeah.
some more hands being played that wouldn't normally be played.
Yeah, I expect Chris Ward, Trevor, and possibly Brad to really pick it up when it gets to 6-handed.
On you.
Well, now that Trevor doubled up, I mean, he's going to start feeling himself a little bit. And he's going to actually be able to play. You know, he's kind of handcuffed a little bit with this stack. Now he can kind of open up a little from the button.
13?
Huh?
13?
Hopefully won't see any more fold arounds and limps, you know.
No fear.
Button should be
What's
raising
the,
almost every time now.
over on the-
I tell
You
you
would
what,
think.
that's something I just don't do enough myself.
It's a hard thing to do. I mean, it's because you look at your hand and you're like, man, I can't raise this hand. But like, honestly, if it folds around to you, why not?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Those blinds just sitting there for the taking.
Papa Z with Ace King. Let's see how Papa plays Ace King.
Chris
I
fold.
mean, he has 13,000, so
Green Bay
he can't do his usual all in. He's actually got some chips to play with.
Brad fold.
keeps me in the playoffs. So
Fold, fold. I'm Papa.
What was that line?
Papa
3?
calls 8.
I like that.
So we're
Looks
Oh,
like
actually-
Brad min raised under the
yeah,
gun.
I'm sure.
Rick did.
Yeah, I mean that's right. Rick.
Oh, with his
Rick,
ace.
Yeah,
I didn't
with
see
his
that.
ace rag.
So actually, I would have liked Papa to raise.
Now he's pricing Trevor in to try and with a min raise and a call, just a call by Papa.
Yeah, I mean, I can never fold 4-6 suited from the big blind. And
Papa checks.
Oh, he gets one pair. Rick gets another.
Trevor checks.
Papa checks, Trevor checks.
Rick bets
Rick's
8.
going to bet,
Papa
and he's going to bet not too large. This is always a tough spot,
Papa instamucks.
which is not bad. You're 3-handed.
and a call.
Of course, it's easy to flick a chip in there. I mean, if you're defending and you hit a pair, you gotta see what happens in the turn. See if the man slows down.
He hasn't yet.
Rick bets 8.
Now this is where a red flag would be going off in my head. I would have to
Trevor
not believe him.
Really?
If you bet the same amount you bet on the flop,
You know you're weak.
most of the time
Yeah.
you don't have anything, which he really didn't. And that's where my aggression takes over, and I start to freak out.
Take a nap for a while.
I have to put chips in the middle. I have to. I can't. I can't take it.
Good to know. That's going in the bank.
I can't take it.
That's going in the bank
hey,
there.
If you bet the same amount you bet on the flop on the turn, I will 100% raise you. So please take that knowledge and do what you will with it.
Well, I'll try and remember it. I don't want to abuse it or anything, but
Or maybe I'm planting a seed, and then you're gonna do that, and I'm just gonna get you. You never know. I have so many levels.
I can't bring myself to bet the same amount usually though.
I'm like an onion.
I'm like a grape. I usually just get squashed.
Steve Folk. Call. Papa calls 400.
Papa with ace-10 just calling the button.
Trevor is thinking about raising.
You never want to raise Papa here.
I mean, he does just call on the button, but
yeah, well, it's
scary because
doesn't-
Papa limps so many good
Big
hands.
hands, yeah. and he won't fold.
He thought about raising though. I mean, that is a spot
Yeah.
you would probably normally get a raise in.
Most players,
That's on Trevor.
But look at that, right up on Papa's wheelhouse.
yeah.
Rick. Papa.
Papa with top pair and a big flush draw,
And there you go. Easy as that.
and shows them how
Just look, guys.
cheap he let them get off.
Look, guys, I have an ace.
Yeah,
Look what I did. I limped from the button with an ace,
yeah.
and I hit it.
I'd say about 80% of the time when Papa limps, he's calling a raise. So there's no reason to try and bluff him.
He just does that, you know.
Yeah, once he puts chips in, he's bound and determined he's going to see the flop.
Small, big, under together. Hey, Brad's up.
Steve short stack with
Drop fold.
threes. Let's see what he does.
Steve is all in.
That's exactly what I'd have done with
Good
him.
luck. Let me know if you
Why not? Still kind of scary though.
Oh yeah, no, you never
Pocket
never
threes.
liked shoving in with threes.
2,000. Yeah, 2450. Yeah. Trevor folds.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get a call. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I've
see.
seen Chris Ward call 7-5.
Yeah, that was. I mean, but now his stack's a little bit shorter because of that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have the chips to be able to afford it. And honestly, he didn't have the chips to be able to afford it before. But I'm not gonna assume anything anymore about people's play. I'm just
No.
gonna I can't. I keep surprising myself when I think I know what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna enjoy, you know.
Yeah, there's a few people that are predictable, but
Looks like you're in.
good to go. There's several here where I have no clue sometimes what they're gonna do, and I'm looking at their cards
Exactly.
and still don't know what they're gonna do.
That's a good thing though.
Here's Rick with his
Drop fold.
His
crappy ace.
I'm assuming if it folds to him, he's probably gonna raise.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm just taking a wild guess. And I would. I don't blame him on this one.
Yeah.
Folds to you, have ace
I think
four,
this is about the first ace rag.
4 times the big blind here. I mean, he does have 16K behind, so I guess you can do that. And this is what happens. He just keeps raising.
I was real surprised Chris didn't call with king queen.
Stupid position.
Well, because
That is something to do.
it's hard for
Might
him
have
to
been-
call.
Yeah, it might have been the size.
He's in the small blind. The guy raises 4x and has you crushed in chips.
Yeah.
You know he's never gonna fold to your all in. It's like you don't even want to be in that spot. You can find a better spot than that, like right here from the button.
Yeah. He's banged up.
Well,
I'll be working with him.
you don't know.
Trevor with his
Hip replacement.
puffy hat on, looks like he's looking for $1.
Could be good.
Yeah, Steve. He folds. I don't know.
Chris with the ace king this time.
Trevor
Rick with king 9. He
It's suited.
he
You
could
know he
raise-
loves the
yeah,
suited hands.
Yeah, he could raise it here.
He could raise here, and Chris will definitely re-raise. Trevor saying he's a genius because he folded.
1600. Chris has got 67,
All in is
25.
one
Yeah, I
now,
was gonna
like
say that he
before.
might chip it.
Now this is just one of those spots. Rick just needs to give up his 1600 chips. That's too many chips.
One back.
Yeah,
That's just way too many chips. You have to call 5,000 more. You're still like crushing everybody at the table, and you have king 9.
7,125.
How much?
7,125.
Steve doing the cage notion that Chris just put Rick in a cage, and it's true. He has him in a cage right now.
I'm really not sure what's taking so long here. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't want to give up those 1600, and that's why it pains you when you raise so high pre-flop and you have to fold. It pains you so much more than if he would have just made it, you know.
Yeah. 900.
Yeah, 900.
You get. I don't think he ships it for 900. I think he just gets
You
re-raised.
still get the same info, and you
Right.
lose half that.
Half of what you bet.
Very interesting.
I think I'm gonna start becoming a fan of the smaller raise.
It really is good. I mean, you get the same info, and then you can bet smaller on the flop. You get the same info also. I mean, you lose so much less, but you can win so much more when people come along. Plus, it makes people make mistakes that don't understand it, you know. Man, he bet so small, I'm going to raise. And then, look what happens.
Oh wow, we get a couple of big hands brewing here. Trevor's gonna raise.
1,050 by Trev.
1,050.
Chris
This is unfortunate for Trevor.
Yeah.
I feel like he can get away from ace-queen, though.
Yeah, that's not a hand where you can.
It's just not an automatic all-in hand. I
Right.
mean, your stacks are similar to, like Brad here is going to re-raise, and your stacks are very similar.
Identical, just about, aren't they? Or no,
They
Trevor,
are.
Trevor will have a little more.
Trevor has about his bet more. He
Yeah,
has 1,050 more.
1050. If it, the bad part is, if he just flatted here, Steve may have shipped.
Yeah, that's true.
Raise to 2,900.
How much?
2,900 he raised to.
Oh, I thought he said 21.
About almost 2K.
He folds. It's on
I was gonna say if
7.
it was 21, Trevor would have to call. And 21 would have been a great raise.
Oh yeah. Looks like this is the last hand before our break.
7,050 behind. Perfect. Raz, how you got back? 10,050.
1850. He's got 99. So it's about 20% of his stack to call.
Trevor with his eagle eye calls the stack out exact number. Oh boy.
No.
It's a
is
tough spot.
Trevor thinking
but,
about
I mean-
re-raising. I hope he's not thinking about you.
He could re-raise and then get away from it, but
I don't think he's got enough to re-raise and get away from it.
I mean it's 1850 to call if he makes it 4K. Yeah, I mean he kind of commits himself if he does
Yeah.
anything but fold. It's a hard spot. I just feel like it's
Because
a fold.
even if he min raised, it's almost half his stack.
I mean, Brad hasn't really got out of line. He hasn't like 3-bet anybody pre-flop crazy. It's not been doing it all night or anything. I'd have to just give him respect this time and see what happens in the future. It's just
Well, and what's going through Trevor's mind, which is not helping him, is we've watched Brad several times, and a lot of times when he's made his big bets,
he's had some
He's had errors.
questionable
Yeah.
hands. Yeah. It's just this is a little bit different. I mean,
Yeah.
you're basically essentially heads up. I don't think he wants to mess around too much. He's not trying to
It's a good
outplay
laydown.
Trevor.
it's a
It
good
was a
lay
good
down. And I believe we're going to be on a 10-minute break, and we'll be right back.
All right, guys.
Yeah, actually, can I buy some black onions, sir?
All right, welcome back everybody to our final game of the Akron Poker League. I'm now here with Dan Crafton.
Yeah, I think your colleague, Mr. Boston, wanted to get just a little closer to the action, so he wanted to step in as a dealer.
He was getting a little close to me, so now I feel like it's better that he's out there.
So you're stuck with me, Bobby, for about the next hour.
I don't
here.
mind it. I don't mind it.
But enough about us. Let's get back to the action, shall we?
I'm ready.
All right,
And the
let's
action
roll.
is heating up.
It's getting good. Blinds are creeping.
Lines are creeping. There's creepers creeping.
Creepers are creeping.
There's things going on. Things are happening. People are raising and re-raising. 3 bets, 4 bets, all them bets.
There's a lot of folding that last hour,
There was a lot of folding.
but there's a lot at stake here tonight. So
I mean, everybody wants to be the champ. Who doesn't want to be the champ?
I want to be the champ tonight.
I want to be the champ. I'm watching. Unfortunately, I can't be the champ, but I'm living through Trevor. He is my horse right now. I'm rooting for him. We aren't seeing cards. I remember they did something. Did something over here.
We need to do something to get cards.
Yeah, the layout. Can you
What do you mean to do?
on the layout down right there?
Raise to 18.
He clicked it and went to not disable, and then went back to that. And booyah!
All right, there we go.
On the fly, I'm here making moves, and there we see Rick with his famous 4x raise, with kings this time though.
Seems to be getting a lot of good hands, or just making a lot of big bets that people aren't calling.
No, he's been just making a lot of big bets. Any ace, ace 4, ace 5, ace 8, any ace, he loves it. He's doing it.
He's got the chips to push around now.
He does, and that's what I said. It's a good strategy until blinds get a little bit higher, and then you're gonna start giving away a lot of chips. I mean, if you're 4xing when it's like 1,000, 2,000, you got a problem. Something's gonna. You get raised one more time, those chips are out of here. Lose half your stack real quick.
Mr. Boston with a little dry mouth there. He's working on his hand shuffler.
Chris doing his latest devil impression. That little devil.
I kind of thought it was reindeer, for the season.
That might be it too. I always think the most evil things about people.
I feel like this might take way to the
All right. Rick folds a hand. He takes a break. Says my big stack can just relax for a second. We'll see too much action.
Chris seems to be playing tight for him.
He's kind of in between. He's been playing some. It's weird. He does some crazy things. Sometimes he just like picks random spots to play crazy hands. I don't blame Steve here.
Yeah, he's been short stacked since that one big hand. Seems to be moving on any decent face card he's got.
Trevor has to call, and I don't blame him either. So we're gonna see almost close to a flip as you can see, without actually being a flip.
Trevor's liking what he sees right now.
He's liking it. It's always a clenching spot right now. All these cards coming out. And he will take it.
Looks like he takes it down.
And much needed.
We will say goodbye to Steve in 7th place. No. Yeah, we've lost.
Yeah, he's in
we
7th
lost
place.
third place.
We're down to 6-handed.
Hey, I was just one for the next one.
So what's the craziest hand that you guys have seen tonight?
Buddy, that was awful nice, eh?
Do what I can to help.
I'd have to say there wasn't really too many real crazy hands. There was the one hand that I don't know if you've seen what Brad actually had. He had a full house, and Chris was thinking about bluffing. I saw it in his eyes, and he didn't bluff though because he got saved on the river. Brad bet out, but nothing much too crazy going on. I mean, for the most part, everything's been pretty straightforward. Chris has been playing a little abnormal in some situations, but
Has he been trying to stay strictly in a position type play? or
kind
just-
of, but not really. Like he called Trevor's bet, but yeah, it was in position with King 6 suited. They got that chop and like just weird things like that he got lucked out on. But it's just odd things that you wouldn't expect from him. Brad's been playing pretty tough.
think Brad's gonna raise with a ace-7 offsuit.
Don't see why not. Picking up chips.
Trevor folds his jack queen, and Rick says nope. Not
Rick
for
says,
me.
I don't have an ace, so I'm out of here.
No ace, Rick, and he's out. Now, me personally, I might look them up if that's but that's that.
I mean, with that stack, I don't
that
see
loose
why not.
style that I like to play though.
It's not that big a deal. I mean, yeah, big blind. Why not complete? See a flop. Those are the hands you want to. I mean,
Well, and I think when you, I don't know, there's I guess there's two schools of thought there. One, you protect the chip stack that you have and try to run as deep as you can, or you
Yeah.
get a little crazy with a little bit and just see what you can
well,
do.
it all depends on the structure. I think with this structure, protecting is probably the best, just because the blinds seem to shoot up very quickly after these levels. They start to feel like they're going up really fast. So I don't mind the fold, but man, it's really hard to for me. I mean, same as you. You got that chip stack, you want to get in there.
So Brad's gonna be under the gun with a 7-8, and he lets it go. Rob's been playing really tight tonight.
When does he not?
Well, that's just true.
When does he not? Trevor, I expect to see a raise. I'm thinking 1,300. Just guessing. Just a guess. Or he might have converted to the min raise 1,200. Exactly on.
1,200.
1,200 it is.
Rick does
It's
not
about that
have an
time.
ace.
So he's out. Chris has the exact same hand, but he might mess around. I mean, he knows Trevor knows to raise from the button. And he knows that Trevor knows that he knows about raising from the button. But it looks like it
there was a Thanksgiving.
doesn't make a difference.
That was,
This was a title game. That was the unlet.
yeah. That was Dolphins.
And amazingly, 75% of the kings were out there. That's 3 out of 4.
Three of the
That's
4
3 out of
kings were out there. This game's all about math.
That's what I said earlier. I don't know how people do it. I don't know math. I don't know how to work a calculator even.
Hey, if you're hanging out in between hands like we are and got nothing to do, and you're on Facebook seeing what your friends are up to,
Like I'm always.
and who's doing what, and who took a picture of this, and who's riding in what city,
Or if you just want to tell me how pretty I look on camera.
and that might be an option too. You can always check out our page, www.facebook.com/chasethebracelet.
Give me a shout out.
Give us a shout out. Like us, you'll find out the next the next program that we're going to be airing. And come back for more of this wonderful poker action
I feel like Trevor
from Akron's finest.
from Akron's finest. -1 because I'm in the booth.
Trevor with the 10-8.
Of course he's raising.
A favorite hand of mine.
Now,
Suited.
now notice this. This is something he doesn't realize he's doing. But look, what did he raise to this time?
13.
Why would he do that? Why would he add the 100? Because this time he has a hand that he's scared to see a flop with. No, he's not scared. It's just a mental thing. People do things. They do weird things
He
like
doesn't
that.
want a min raise. He wants it to look like it's more than a min raise.
Yeah, why?
So he
Why?
adds the 1.
Because he's deterring people from calling.
Brad's got a weak ace. He's gonna look him up.
It's just one of those things people do.
My board right now, I wish, is an ace-6 of spades.
That's not bad. It's not a bad flop for the 10-8.
No, it's not bad at all.
I mean, I expect to see him continue. I see no reason.
Well, with Brad checking, he's got to throw another bet out.
15.
And I feel like this hand should be over. I don't see any reason, unless Brad really wants to mess around. I mean,
If Brad's gonna call or raise here, he's gonna represent a club draw, right?
at least a club draw. I mean, I doubt he would raise with the jack. He might. Some people do that. They're scared of clubs. But with their chip stacks compared to everybody else's, I feel like it'd be just better for them to not get involved with each other.
Right. But if Brad's gonna throw some money in there, then Trevor's got to put him out. He's got a club or he's got that jack.
Right. And then he just has to figure out if
And if that third club comes, then Brad's got to really make that move.
he has to. Yeah, he has to represent it.
Because if he checks again, then Trevor's gonna.
Or then he's just giving up. He's just wasting chips. But another thing to think about is Trevor did have a draw also. He wasn't just floating on air. So
on air.
poker on air.
Papa Z's gonna be under the gun this hand. with his little cockroach.
With his little cockroach.
Cockroach, and he
And
wakes up with some
his
poison.
ladies.
His ladies are looking at the cockroach.
He loves his ladies. And he calls. This is where
Papa Z
Papa scares you.
loves that.
He loves doing
This
that.
is where Papa Z will
He
catch
gets you. He's
somebody.
sandbagging you. He's in there. He's trying to make stuff happen. He's like, please somebody do something, and he's gonna ship it in your face. That's his move.
Because Rob's might raise here.
He may.
I don't know how tight Rob's been playing, but
He's
King
been playing
Jack,
pretty tight, but I mean, you have King Jack. What are you gonna do with it?
something with it. I don't think he's just gonna.
Chips are getting
check
low.
his bet. He does check his bet.
Yeah, that's his style.
He's in trouble if a Jack hits this Jack high board.
No. That's not a good flop for either of them. I feel like with both their play styles, it's gonna just get checked down.
Check.
It's gonna just check down, which is unfortunate. I mean, I would have to throw a bet at some point.
You got to see if an ace is out.
Look at this. That's amazing. So Rob bets a pot-sized bet on the turn.
With his club.
He does have the club, but that's just interesting that he would do that. And it's interesting how that hand played.
Yeah.
That's one of the downsides to limping with big hands and then an ace hits.
An
and
ace hits.
Can't
You
do
totally
anything.
shut it down. I think Papa Z though, I don't know, if I'm in that hand and I limp in and I was in that situation, I feel like I gotta see if an ace is out there.
You have to
Because
bet.
the way that Rob plays,
What'll happen,
he's
fold?
gonna fold if he doesn't have the ace.
Yeah.
We muck 'em,
The only time you may not bet is
go,
maybe if a queen hit
throw it off,
on the
throw
flop.
it back,
Right.
take them
Since
off.
you've limped, you can play it a little bit slower. You can kind of like
And let him catch
play
up.
it tricky. But other than that, I feel like you have to bet because then you're never gonna know where you're at. You have no information.
Absolutely.
But that's Papa style. He only lost 600. He's like, you know what? Whatever. I limped in with queens, and I didn't get there. We are not seeing cards again. There they
There
go.
they are.
They just shoot on the screen.
Rob's gonna 3x this.
You think?
I
3x?
think it's 3x.
I don't know what his raise size is because I never see him raise. So
Man, go from Bob's here right now.
He likes his
Raise
pocket
the
pairs.
13.
Well, I don't know though. 13 here, he may just flat this.
Can you multitask?
he's done some things that we didn't think before though. He's raised on situations when we're like, whoa, this guy's going crazy. But it looks like I do the right thing.
Boston fumbles the deck, but he recovers.
What a good flop for the king 10.
That's right.
And what a bad flop for the 8s.
Well, Rob can easily now just walk away.
The check. What a nasty turn card.
Does Brad smile?
No, he doesn't. He's actually a really good player.
He's got it locked down. I know earlier Trevor asked him for a chip count. I wouldn't even look at him.
That was nice. That's how you can tell. Because that's what I do. I don't talk to anybody.
Rob easily just folds his hand here. What's he thinking about?
Yeah,
Too
he has
much
to
out
fold.
there.
It's too much stuff.
He's posturing. He's getting a little TV time.
All those cards are higher than 8s.
He's got one out. And he-
He doesn't know that though.
He's got two out.
He might
might
be.
even be behind.
He might be good. Maybe the guy
That 8
raised.
comes there on the river. You make that call. Brad's just lost now. What do I do?
These guys
Crazy
can just
play.
read me. They're just reading me.
He used to call that soul reading, right? Is that what that is?
Soul reads.
Soul reads.
I don't think that was a soul read.
No.
I think that was just like,
an obvious fold.
yeah. I think he just saw those cards out there and he said, you know what? I can't beat any of that.
Rick looked like the kid at the table just waiting for dessert. He's had his full meal. It's all his chips. Just ready for dessert. So he's gonna be our first act.
Haven't seen him get out of line yet.
10 deuce.
It's out of here.
Fold. Here comes Rob. He's gonna be. I think he's a 3x better.
We're gonna find out this time. I have a feeling. We're gonna get to see what his raise size is. If he limps, I will be very disappointed.
He's not gonna get a call.
Raise to 15.
Oh yeah,
That was
that's close.
2.65.
That was close. That was close to 3x. And Trevor's just figuring it out. Can I defend here with this hand? Or am I an idiot if I do it? Yeah.
Be it out in the room out there with him. He's caught himself an idiot a couple times.
I've heard him.
Gotta play the stack right now. I wanna go all
He
in.
also called himself a genius
He did.
a few times.
I think he was right.
He was. He was.
He was?
Yeah.
It sounded like you said he wasn't.
No, he was. He was a genius. He made a good fold earlier too when Brad 3-bet him. Brad had pocket queens, and Trevor had ace queen,
Yeah. He got re-raised.
and he got re-raised and he folded,
Yeah.
which was a good fold.
Trevor likes to call himself the professor around the building here.
Yeah, I've heard him say
Poker
that a few times.
professor.
Oh, my floor?
Yeah.
Except he can't beat me heads up for some reason.
Money tonight.
I played him online about 15 heads up matches. I won every one.
Just can't do it, huh?
Just couldn't beat me.
When my wife bought it, she was around 2 of my racing buddies, and they said that,
It's like Chris Ward's going to open us up here with a king 5.
there you go.
I don't think he's gonna do anything.
Okay, we have any good starting hands out there.
That 4-5 suited's looking pretty nice.
Folks, this is a great thing about our poker show. We not only show you the great hands, we show you all those hands of those other poker shows we never show you.
Yeah, they cut all that out.
They cut that out, and all you see is the big hand versus big hand. We get to show you what real poker is all about.
Well, and the
full
cool thing-
game strategy.
The cool thing is you can see like what leads up to certain people's decisions later on.
Right, other shows you come back and like, hey, where'd that guy get that extra 20,000 in
Yeah.
chips?
Or why is he 3-betting with this hand? Oh, it's because 5 times in a row he's been re-raised from this guy.
And that's what Poker on Air wants to bring you. It wants to bring you all the action, the full action.
So here's Trevor. He's stepping out on a limb here. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna raise your big blind.
Yeah, but he knows Rick's really tight. If Rick calls him, he's got something. Trevor can then step away.
He's like, I need your chips. You got a big stack. I need part of them.
I think he realizes that Rick's the chip leader. Rick's not going to play his stack, so I'm just going to needle at it and chip away.
Yeah, he's
bit by
just gonna
bit.
give it away every time, unless he has something.
Yeah, but then Trevor like 2.5x'd it, so he can get away with it. Gets re-raised or called and misses a flop. He can just walk away. Most times though, your one player left is not going to have anything.
Maybe. Interesting. Elastic.
Take jogging. Here's that reference, ladies and gentlemen. The Plastic Man.
Brad's going to be first act. He's off. Into the monk.
Trevor is, of course, going to make it. What do you think? 1,200?
12.
Exactly, because he has a hand this time. Just something I'm picking up on.
Makes me wonder why he doesn't beat you heads up.
It's all about those little things. It's repetition.
Chris might get a little saucy here with this queen deuce.
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really have a big stack enough to kind of mess
And
around.
Rick likes those suited cards.
Oh, he loves suited cards.
So he's gonna come in with a weak king.
He called with King 5 earlier and it was magic. But I don't
Couple
think he's going to
queens.
win this spot.
Could scare everybody. I think the first one to throw money in might be taking it.
I think it's going to be Trevor. I see Rick checking, and then Trevor's going to just continue, and that should be the end of this one. But what do I know?
Check, check.
Check, check. Queen scares all.
See, I don't know about that. Now you're never getting Rick to fold.
Yeah, Rick's not going anywhere now. Trevor might take a little step now.
No, I don't know if he didn't bet on the flop. I doubt he'll bet that turn. That adds so many more draws. I think it's just gonna. Oh,
Rick's gonna bet his diamond.
of course. And that's that.
4-8. 4-8 this hand.
Trevor wishes he bet. Wishes he bet the flop.
Absolutely.
You don't know how to change the blind?
I feel like I would always bet that flop.
He's gonna change the blind.
I don't know if Trevor just got scared or what happened there.
Yeah, I think you gotta bet it just to see where you are. Queen's.
I think he thinks he's thinking too deep about it, like, oh, what hand am I gonna represent or this and that. But like, honestly, like, against Rick, you just want to bet. He's gonna look at his hand, and if he doesn't have it, he's not thinking about outplaying you or, you know, why would you bet here? What hand are you repping? He doesn't know. He doesn't think like that. He looked at his hand. He doesn't have it. He's folding. Let's see. Nah, I feel like he should at least complete.
24.
Yeah, he's gonna
Whoa.
press him.
Whoa. I mean, Rad's gonna fold, but whoa.
He's just trying to press the big blind. You got no one else to worry about.
But that bet looks like he's trying to press. that's a big bet. See, that's why sometimes I get eager. Like, I want to play. I want to be down there.
So, I mean, what do you do if you think
see, I
someone's
just-
trying to press you like that?
I ship it in their face. What else is there to do? What are you trying to do? You gotta ship it in their
Teach him
face.
a lesson, right? Yeah, but Chris,
I'm glad
stack right there.
I didn't hear
Maybe he doesn't. Well, you can't let him bully you out of your big blinds every time. If I know a guy's folding his big blind every time, I'm absolutely raising with any 2 cards from the small blind. And I think that's a perfect example of what Chris is doing. But,
Papa Z with a limp, right?
oh, we don't know yet.
First position limp. No, he's raising.
But that raise Chris does. He made it huge.
No, Papa Z just called him.
No, I'm saying the last
Oh, yeah.
hand. I feel like that's like a dead giveaway. It's like, because if you had a hand in the small blind, why would you raise so big? You would want to entice the big blind to play along with you, you know?
That's true.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things people do.
Brad thinking long and hard about a jack deuce.
I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. And Rob's for sure folding.
I just checked.
Oh, he's big blind.
He was big blind.
Free flops. Gotta love the free flops. Papa with the best of it.
Wow, scary.
That is scary. It's just gonna check around. And continue to check around. And the river's gonna be a jack. Okay,
Nope.
maybe not. Just kidding. So now they will chop it up.
It's gonna be
That's
a champ pot unless someone gets a little saucy here. Represents a king.
Bet 11.
I still don't think Papa's folding. I don't know. Just the way the hand's played, but he
I think
might.
Papa
He plays
Z
tight.
folds here.
Plays pretty tight. So
Fold. And call. Bobby.
they need me there to chop the pot. Is what they're calling for.
You have a history with pot chopping.
Okay, I messed up one time.
That was one. It was like 6 times one time. It was all at the same time, but it was like 6 times.
Listen, I'm used to people dealing for me. I'm used to people chopping up the pots. I don't mess around with that. I don't know how to do it. Okay?
Well, you should just ask for help.
If the pot's 2400, I don't know what to do. I freak out. I don't know what half of that is. I don't know what it means. I just want somebody else to do it for me.
There was just an amazing cash game over at my homestead, and there was a chop pot, and it literally took Bobby 7 minutes to figure out how to chop this pot.
You know, I was thinking too much. I was burned out. My mind was going crazy.
Granted, it was late in the night.
It was. It was like
People were sleeping.
midnight.
It was like 12. That's okay. We forgot about it. We don't really bring it up too often.
Oh, except every time a pot needs chopped. It's alright.
We're all known for something.
Listen, that's what makes me a genius.
It
you
is.
know? That's how geniuses think. They don't get the simple things. I'm all about the complex things.
Chris raises his ace 10 to 1900.
What are blinds again? 2? 2-4?
4-8, I believe.
4-8? Okay, I was gonna say wow.
I think we started after the break with 3-6. I think it moved to 4-8.
This is what I always find interesting. There was more action when it was 9-handed, and now it's 6-handed, and it seems like it's just nothing's going on. Everybody's kind of Trevor's taking a nap, and everybody's just kind of relaxing.
Has there been any commentary on Mr. Snowman's shirt?
No, we haven't mentioned anything about that, which
I kind of like it. I mean,
I
it looks
do
like
like
he's
it.
rolling a scarf.
it looks really
Looks
good.
warm.
Looks comfortable. So it looks like the blinds.
Somebody back there fixing a bad leg on a stool.
No cards again. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Yeah, 800 call. You're right. 4-8. So 1600 is
18.
min raise. 1800 is not bad either. Or either, whatever you prefer.
Fold. Fold. Fold.
Trevor from the big blind.
Fold.
It's like, no, not gonna mess around. Nobody wants it. Everybody's just folding.
Yeah,
chips.
I'm not sure. Maybe the payouts of tonight is weighted a little heavier towards the top, and
Something. Could be.
you know, it's no fun going out this early.
Nobody wants to go out except for first. When you play a tournament, it's never satisfying. Maybe second. I'll give second place some satisfaction. But other than that, you want to get first.
See, I think a lot of times in my tournament play, I get that cash game mentality in there that I want max value for every hand, and it's not
Yeah.
like that in the tournament.
It's not. It's
running
not.
to the end.
It's hard sometimes though when you're playing tournaments to keep that.
Sometimes you just gotta buy the blinds.
Keep that in
and
check.
be happy with that.
Yeah. When in cash, you're like, I don't want no stinking blinds.
Right.
I want the money.
Call.
So what do we have here? An under the gun call.
Brad's probably gonna throw some
See,
money. at this.
he's playing tricky. Like he has king queen and he just calls under the gun. That's not a bad strategy, I'd say, for six-handed. But the problem is
18.
that people weren't doing that, and now they are. So I guess there is no problem. But if he is trapping, I'm assuming he's limping to trap. I don't know why he would want to play that hand out of position.
Call.
And he does. He wants
Just
to play.
flats it.
So he was not trapping. He was just trying to see a cheap flop, I guess. And here we are. There's your cheap flop.
Chris has got a gutter, and Brad hits his 9.
See, this is why I don't agree with the limp calling. I don't feel like it's a profitable play ever. I mean, look what situation you get in.
Right now he's sitting with a gutter. Is he gonna call for 4 outs and flips
If he would have
2 overs?
raised, ace-9 may have folded, and if ace-9 called, he would be the aggressor, and he could play around with the hand a lot more. You know, now he's kind of like just drawing to what he actually has.
Well, Chris is probably thinking right now, oh, he's got a 10 or he's got the spade draw. I got overs. I got a gut shot.
Yeah, or he's thinking, why did I limp this?
Why did I limp?
Why did I limp? And now I don't know what to do. And there it is.
Let's go.
So
Goodbye.
he wasted like 2K.
Goodbye 800. No, he called the raise. 2K, you're right.
Yeah, he limped in for 800. It made it 1800. So maybe 1,000 or so. It's just interesting choices, you know.
I think Rick fell asleep.
There's a couple people. He's awake.
Baba Z,
He
I don't
perked
know.
up.
It's getting late for him.
Trevor took a little power nap last 2 hands. Now he's going back. Going
Getting
back
back
in
in the zone, I think.
He's thinking about what his strategy is from here on out. I mean, he's got to be seeing that everybody's playing really, really, really tight now. It's changed. He's seen the flow change. They get to six-handed, everything's changed. Everybody's just limping, hanging around. This is going to be fun.
What's Rick gonna do?
I
Give me a
mean,
prediction.
If he's raising with any ace, I'm pretty sure he's going to raise.
What is this, like his 4 or 5x?
Oh, it's for sure a 4x.
I mean, Trevor's gonna jump in the pot with a raise before him, I think.
After they and ladder.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's for sure going to raise.
18.
No, he has a real hand, so he's going to min raise. It's going to be 16.
18.
Oh, my. So I guess my theory is not correct.
Right.
Rick's gonna re-raise him.
And instantly, at that,
36.
oh, I like that raise. That's interesting. You know, he usually raises huge. He just raises min.
What do you really love the bike?
Yeah, no kidding.
Trevor could let this go based upon Rick's play tonight, knowing that he's folded like a couple rounds.
I mean, I feel like he's gonna let it go. He knows that Rick's never just doing this.
He knows he's behind a pair or he's behind an ace. Yeah.
I mean, when has Rick ever 3-bet? I don't think he's 3-bet this whole tournament. And here he is, 3-betting you. What do you do?
Trevor looks up to the sky, goes,
Why me?
why me?
Why do I get those hands on the button? He's probably saying this, you know, this table's rigged, deck's rigged. It's all rigged. All the lines rigged.
Papazi is snoring next to me. Alright, Rob, your first act, buddy. Give us some action. I'm rooting for you.
Rob, 6,900. It's getting low.
King 6.
He's going to have to do something soon.
Make a move.
And I've seen him play a lot. He will tend to just let his stack go until he gets an hand. Like, it doesn't matter. It can get down to 4 big blinds. Does not matter to him.
Hey, folks, if you're hungry right now, I know a place where you can get some nice, healthy snacks.
Where's that at, Dan?
Bobby, do you like snacks?
I do like snacks.
Do you like healthy snacks?
I do like healthy snacks.
Well, if you've never heard of Nature Box, you can find their link on pokeronair.com. You can click right on to Nature Box's website from our site. So we know that, so Nature Box knows that we sent you on over. And you can get healthy, wholesome snacks delivered right to your house. Amazing. It's the power of the internet.
The internet is awesome.
They have
So is
stuff
healthy
like
snacks.
baked sweet potato chips.
I'm hungry right now.
Sriracha roasted cashews. They're all good for you. They come individually packaged. And you can get a box delivered to your house every month. Choose from over 100 healthy snacks. Just go to our site, pokeronair.com, and click on the link.
Looks like Brad is just bulldozing everybody now. I feel like he recognizes that nobody is playing cards right now. So you know what? I'm just going to bet anytime I can. Because there's a lot of chips out there. And I'm going to take them. Why not?
Well, that's what I think Rick should be doing here most of this big stack power
I mean,
play.
that's what happens. See, a lot of these
And
guys...
we've seen a lot of these deals that are just one big hand, weekend, and it's just, I mean, that's just take a blind, increase your stack.
It happens. Well, and then what's going to happen is Rick's going to continue on, and then the blinds are going to go up to the point where he has to do something because it's going to start. They're going to start chipping away. People are going to start raising his blinds and taking them, and he's not recovering any of that. He's just going to kind of sit around. And the people that know how to play big stacks, they're the ones that just the rich get richer type thing, you know?
Yep, you just keep folding, and your stack just shrinks and shrinks.
Yeah, before you know it, you had 18K, then all of a sudden you look down, you have 12K, and now you have 10 big blinds.
You're
You're
like,
like, what the heck?
how did I get here?
I haven't even played any hands. How did I lose all
Exactly,
these?
that's how you got there. Not saying, folks, that you play every hand, but you got to take your position.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it folds to you, you're on the button, take a stab. You got the big stack. You got the stack to do it.
Raise.
Here's Brad with his King 9. Gonna put some pressure on the big blind.
Oh, yeah.
19.
See, he gets it. I mean, Rob playing it tight. Just gonna keep letting it go. That's a huge chunk, you know. 800 chips is a lot. It's a lot of chips.
That's a big blind.
Yeah.
Amazing.
His stack's 6,000, you know. I mean, 800 from that. You continue to do that.
He's pulling chips out of his hat. See?
Trevor's like, woe's me. Just give me something.
Trevor's like, what is Bobby saying about me right now?
I mean, for as biased as I am for wanting him to win, I haven't really I haven't really stopped myself from saying things I like and don't like.
You know, being the announcer extraordinaire for Poker on Air, you know, of course,
He's gonna need
a
a
little
little bit.
biased towards the old skullcap head boy.
18.
Oh, he's like, you know what? I want to pick up some chips this hand.
Fold.
This is gonna be interesting because Rob is short stacked. I feel like if I was in Rob's spot, it'd be really hard for me to do anything with this King 10. You're in a small blind. You can't just call. You're either shipper or folding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a third of his stack.
It's tough.
Papa Z, insta fold.
No. Oh, I didn't realize.
Trevor takes some blinds.
Which is good. I mean, 1,200 chips, I'll take them. They're up for grabs.
Yep.
1,200.
He needed a quick little lift there.
Every time. 1,200. We are here.
Hey,
Six-handed.
look at that.
There we are.
Two of us.
There's picture and picture and picture.
Who's that guy back there?
Seasoned veteran.
There's a guy over your shoulder.
That was Steve.
Steve, who left our tournament early tonight.
He exited the tournament really early.
I hear the blinds button. Hi, kids. Grown quite an audience here in the broadcast booth.
It's because I'm here today. I mean, you know, celebrity makes an appearance. Everybody comes.
There's the cards.
Let's see what Papa does with his King Queen.
Limp.
Oh,
Rick suited cards.
Rick's like, you know what?
Big suited cards.
I have suited cards. They connect,
Fold.
and they have potential.
Thinks
So
they're-
I'm gonna make it 2,400.
He thinks they're paying extra money for flopping a royal here.
He's changed to 3x now, though. I think he realized. But still, he's
Nah,
he's
it's just
getting it.
suited cards that are connected and they were face cards. And tightened the little sweater around his neck. His little scarf.
But I mean, he's playing the strategy right. I mean, he's raising it. He's getting blinds.
Chris
2,000.
Looks like, Chris looks like he wants to punch somebody right now. Not
He's
sure what's
mad.
going on there.
Well, you know, you play a tournament and then it gets down to six-handed where blinds are huge and you don't get hands. It's like really frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I think we're five. It's 1,000 right now for a big blind.
Oh, is it 500,000?
I believe it jumped to 5.
Well, yeah, now it's even more important to be taking blinds. Oh, still 4-8.
Now the horn did sound.
Poker playing kind.
Like Tony gave me that instead of the fold.
Fold.
Papa Z with 7 deuce. Needs to make a move.
Fold. Fold. Fold.
Nothing. Fold, fold.
Trevor gets a
Here we
walk.
go again. Let's see what happens.
Oh no, Trevor's small blind.
And he calls.
He
I don't mind
He
it.
hasn't impressed Rick.
No, I don't mind that. I mean, his hand it's got some flop potential. I don't know why he wouldn't raise like he did before, though, if you're going to just keep pounding somebody. I mean, he has to see bet. I feel like,
Check, check.
luckily 10 high is good. I feel like if I'm going to limp in the small blind, I'm going to bet any flop. Why not? It's hard for them to call. They didn't change it.
That's 12. Fold.
There's a 4 out on that flop too. There it comes.
Button move.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now that I look at it, Trevor only has 10 big blinds or so. So it makes it harder for him to raise small blind. Nice, doing something weird.
Shot of adrenaline.
I love it when this picture comes right back to you.
I mean, who doesn't want to see this?
I mean, it's amazing.
Trevor putting his scarf on, he's getting ready. Said it's getting hot in here, or cold. Everybody kind of patiently waiting for something to happen. They can feel it's gonna happen.
They're like, we gotta get some big hands here.
Something's gonna happen. It always does.
We haven't lost a player this level at all, right? This
No.
hour?
Since we've been back from break, I believe it's.
Fold.
All right, Papa. I have faith in you that you'll raise this hand if you know it's good for you. Did he?
He folded a queen 10. Best hand on the table.
No way.
Fold.
I'm really shocked by that. Queen 10 of hearts.
Chris gets a walk.
That is amazing to me.
I'm not gonna complain.
I could never fold that hand. Kind of makes me cringe a little bit that he just straight folded that.
I think it's, I don't know, it just seems to me like a combination of the blind levels where they are right now and
Even more.
the number
Even
of
more of a
players that are
reason.
still in the game,
I look at that, I feel like I have aces.
and it's like,
I mean, look at his stack.
just fold, fold, fold. We're
I tried to get you in.
I think he has a short stack also. I mean, I would ship it with that hand even in that position. If I'm, it looks like he doesn't have that many chips.
I shut it down. I was like, oh,
He's like 10 big blinds. He's just holding on. That's what he does.
something happened.
So I expect somebody, please. It's been getting to the blind versus blind over and over, and a walk again.
another walk.
I'd be observing this, and I'd just switch right away, instantly. I mean, I would be just totally taking advantage of everybody at this table right now.
There's a lot of tightness going on right now.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
But
Of course, it always seems when I do that, and I
Of course,
open up my
right.
game and get
I mean,
real
that's-
aggressive, it's like I run into some guy with a monster hand.
Yeah,
But I mean,
with everybody's chip stack, I mean, you're basically shoving. There's no raising anymore. I mean, unless you're Brad or Rick, who have, they don't even have 20 big blinds. They each have like 15, 17 big blinds, whatever. So they really can't even do it. It's just with everybody's chip stack so short, I'd take advantage of that and just shove all the time. I mean, if it folds around to me and I'm on the button, I'm just gonna shove any hand almost.
You pick up 3-4 blinds in a row, and now you got an extra
Yeah.
3-4 grand.
I'm picking up 3K. If I have 10 big blinds and I pick up 3K, that's amazing. You do that twice, you're almost to the biggest stack.
You know what I was gonna tell him? You should have went to the kitty bar. You're allowed to do
Yeah, there it is.
You're allowed to do it.
You held in for so long, and you couldn't help yourself.
it's just us, right?
Yeah.
Raise to 3,000.
Looks like somebody's hand. Okay. I don't know what happened here. Somebody's hand must have accidentally got mucked.
Yeah.
And he folds, he's gonna take it down.
Rick's gonna lose another 1,000. It's gonna give him with 3 big blinds left.
Something's good. What the top of his face and
Who's that? Rob's at 3 big blinds?
Yeah, Rob's at 3,700.
mine.
Ouch. See, that's what we were talking about earlier. It's like you continue to just sit around and fold and fold.
There's more folding going on in here than a laundromat.
I mean, if you really think about it, he has 3,700. If he goes all in this hand and doubles up, he still has less than 10 big blinds. He still has a short stack. You know, it's
I haven't seen this many folds in an origami class.
Fold. Fold.
here it is. This looks like it's gonna be some fun.
You with me on the folds?
I'm with you on the folds.
These things just get worse.
I said you should went to the kitty bar.
It's like we're in a laundromat.
I already said that. I think Rob's gonna jam his stack here.
I mean, he has to. He
He
absolutely
can't-
has
I
to.
mean, he's probably gonna get pressed.
This
first.
is the best hand he's seen in a while. You're gonna go another orbit and lose another 3K. You have no stack. There we
He's
go.
all in.
47.
Bob's gonna fold. We're gonna snap call by Bread. We're gonna have a player at risk.
It's gonna be a 60-40 for player's tournament life. And it's no sweat off Brad's back, even if he loses.
You owe 47 total.
So
Make
Rob
that
is
back
at
to
risk.
47.
Rob is at risk. We could be 5-handed after
He's
this.
a 60-40 dog right now.
Just getting the chips situated. This was the inevitable. I mean,
Mr. Boss to getting the chips right. Putting the cards out. Here we go.
I think that might have,
Something much.
it's okay. It did muck Rob, but
We can rerun them. Just put them back
they're showing
on.
up.
So many out.
boom.
Yeah, he got straight
He
over there.
doesn't get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the player's out.
Wow.
Straight. Just one straight.
Yeah, he got high. Yeah.
Alright, good game.
Pocket nines hold up with a straight.
And now Brad has the chip stack to just crush everybody's soul, and that's what I would be doing. Tell you what, you limp to me, you fold to me, I'm raising it. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, you go mix them up.
I do. Dang.
Looks like we're down to
I
6
figured they couldn't
players.
get any worse, but
Five
they were.
players?
They were
5
going
players?
downhill. Yeah.
5 players left in this tournament. Started with 9. We've lost 4, and everybody's pretty short, with the exception of Brad and Rick. But even them,
Why is that?
even them are still short.
You still have a grudge from season 1 or something?
No,
like that?
that don't bother me.
Trevor's looking very evil right now.
He does. He has an evil look.
Still
It
hurt?
looks like
I
he's
almost wore the bracelet.
contemplating something.
Because I knew you'd be here. I'm like, I should wear the bracelet. But I was in a hurry and I
Not sure what's
forgot to
going
put it
on there.
Sorry, BJ.
Yeah, it happens, right?
I got one of those bracelets.
Yes, you do.
Rick's gonna be first act. He's looking pretty happy.
See, that just shows how cheap they are.
Paul Boston.
Moscow is good way more.
Oh, give me a break.
Wow, he's got decent hands out there. We might see a little action.
I mean, it's hard to play hands now, which is why everybody is folding, because their stacks are so short that it's hard to raise. I mean, think about it. You have 8,000, you have 10,000, whatever it may be. You're gonna have to raise to 2,000 at least. That's a lot of your stack.
Brad's gonna throw some money out here.
Oh, he has 25,000, I'm for sure. This is what I was talking about. If I was him, you'd have to raise here. And then I think Pop is going all in.
And Brad just called.
Oh,
Shows us what we know.
yeah. I don't understand that.
Pop Z flats. Trevor checks.
Yeah, why not? Let's see a flop.
Get a 10 out there. Let's make some action.
Check.
I mean, it's just such a sick scenario, and it's like whoever bets gets it. And Trevor doesn't bet here,
Yeah.
I would like to win everything.
which I
Papa
hope he
Z
does.
sees the queen and he's frozen.
He's done. Yeah,
I think he folds.
Brad's gonna fold.
See, but if I got pocket nines here, I'm gonna see another card. There's
I
only
mean, you
one
can,
over out there.
you can, but you got to remember his stack is 7,700, and Brad's floating here, which is very interesting. So they're actually playing some poker right here on this hand. The best hand folds, and the 2 non-pair hands battle it out. Now I'm very interested to see what Trevor does now. I feel like that card didn't change much.
15,
It's a limp pot. I mean,
35, and fold.
nice. There you go. Whee! He said I just won that with king high. That's how you play poker.
Trevor's happy with that play.
Yeah, I mean the 7 didn't change much. And yeah, just gotta keep it going. 5-handed. Who do you think's gonna win now? I had Trevor to win. Since the beginning.
I don't know. Brad seems to have that advantage, and I
Brad
played with
does.
him a few tournaments before, so he's not a bad player. I think he can manage his chips. I think he can be aggressive with them, but I think he can also be pretty careful with them. So right now I'm advantage Brad.
Is that just because he has the chips?
I also think because of his play style as well. Now
Because Trevor's creeping up on him.
Trevor is creeping up, and
If they get a double up, if he gets in a situation, an all-in situation, it's almost at one of those points where anything can happen because of the chip stacks. I mean, it's such a huge. You get in one pot, it's so. The chip stacks change so much.
But I think that Trevor just realized that last hand that he can needle away some of that big stack.
Oh yeah. I mean, he recognizes by now that he's the chip leader, and he's gonna mess around.
Everyone's bet so gentle my entire gentle better.
Absolutely.
Gentle bend.
It's bad luck. You just slam it down.
I don't know.
Oh, that.
I haven't seen any studies on that.
You don't get to keep.
I don't.
I don't know if I agree with that.
There's no studies on it.
Well,
You think like MIT's got to come up with something like that, right? There's got to be some kind of correlation.
Correlation between gentle betting and hand strength.
overall gentleness.
We're talking about the people who just slam the chips down on the table. They trying. That means is that representing weakness because they're trying to scare the other people out of the
Yeah.
pot because of their
I feel like it
action
is sometimes.
slamming their
They look
hands
at
down.
you. They look at you straight in the eye, and they move their chips out all aggressive, like. Sometimes. But those are those things you can't really tell. Because it could be that they're weak, it could be that they're strong. You got to figure it out first. And then you know from there on out. I'm more of a kind of like hover in the air a little bit and then just toss them down, drop them. That's what I do.
That about you.
Brad's just picking up the hands now, and this is, I mean, this is what you love to have happen when you have a chip lead and everybody's short and you're getting hands. It's just, it's an awesome feeling. I mean, you almost feel invincible. It's like, man, I'm just like destined to win.
Range. 26.
I think Rick might make a call here, though.
Yeah, he hasn't played a hand in a while. He has some chips invested, and when blinds get this high, I feel like some people just can't fold. You know, only has 300 in or 400 in. Or I'm sorry, 500 is a small blind.
Yeah, 5,000.
Yeah, he can't resist. It's like, hey, it's only 2,100 more.
I got 16-8.
Oh, now this is really interesting. This is a mistake, and this is what I had told Paul earlier. I was like, you know, some people, they sit around, they play really tight all tournament, and then for some reason they just spaz out. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Did he just raise though? I thought I heard him say it.
I thought he raised.
Brad raised 2,600. Call he put in. I'm pretty sure he raised though. Because what would we be waiting on right now?
Right.
And this is the thing that I was talking about though. It's they do this one spaz out moment. He had a bunch of chips, and this ruins the whole thing. The whole time he's played tight.
Brad may re-raise him here.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I mean, no, I mean if you're Rick, you got to know like this action has not occurred all tournament. You just 3-bet a guy. You never really 3-bet, and he's re-raising you. I mean, your Queen Jack is shrunk up a lot. His only option is a ship, though.
$82 more.
Yeah, I mean that's
26.
it's half your stack.
Yeah, 52.
I doubt you can just call. I mean, you have to ship it. If you're gonna do anything, you have to ship it. It's either ship it or fold. If you call here, that's a mistake.
Plus 82.
So whatever that is. 13, 14.
And he folds. Well, I'm glad to see him fold at least. But look at that. I mean, his
Like you
stack,
said, it was a huge mistake.
he lost 6K in that stack. At least 6K.
Right.
That was unnecessary.
Not that you're.
So he's got an opportunity to jam there and put some pressure on him. Or just let it go.
I mean, letting it go, I don't
re-raise.
mind.
Don't re-raise.
I really doubt that, you know, I mean, Brad could be making a move, but with the way chip stacks are, it's not even worth it to try to find out or to, like, make a move there. I mean, savor your chips, but I think the re-raise was just a waste of chips to make it 5,200.
I was thinking before Rick re-raised the original bet.
Yeah.
He's got to put the pressure on there, jam it, or just get out of the hand.
Well, I mean, he did all right. I mean, he found out information, but I just think he should fold regardless to a 3-bet. He's like,
It's like, how much pressure can I put on?
Very beneficial for me to do such a thing.
trying to do some 6 strategy. Clock. That's what I would do. Clock.
Oh, he was waiting for the break.
He gets a minute. He gets a minute, so it don't matter.
I lose a hand in the 6-1200 blind. No thanks. I'll take my button going into that.
Yeah, and the button. You have
Looks like they're on break.
You know.
Rob, take care of yourself, buddy.
I believe we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and we will be back with more poker action.
Not hard.
All right, stay tuned, folks, to the end of this tournament.
Welcome back to Poker on Air, the Akron Poker League final game. The blinds, I believe, will be 6 and 12, and let's get the cards in the air.
How exciting. It is 5-handed now. We've missed you for the last couple levels, so
I went out and tried my hand at dealing.
you got to see the action live. You didn't get to see the cards, though,
Yeah.
so it had to be pretty interesting what was going on out there.
Well, Brad amped up the action a little bit, it seemed like.
Well, the thing was, too, though, he's been getting hands
Yeah.
at the right time. I mean, you get a big stack, and then you continue to get hands. It's like heaven. It's like a slice of chocolate cake. You're just ready to eat it. All right.
Trevor picked it up a little bit there, and then he cooled off, it looked like.
Yeah, he just it's kind of hard right now because everybody's pretty short. I think Brad has most of the chips. I think that Rick has since then lost a lot of his chips.
Yeah, Rick's stack went down quite a bit while I was out there.
It's just pretty much Brad is the only one that actually has enough chips to kind of be able to play. Everybody else is kind of handcuffed. I mean, they have to play their hands, and it's a rough spot to be in at this stage of the tournament.
Yeah, pretty soon here, a few guys are just going to have to make a move.
Yeah, like even right here with Brad's hand, I feel like I'm going to be doing something, you know. Why not? I have 31,000 and it's folded to me on the button. I'm going to go for it. Why wouldn't you?
26.
Yeah, it's only king 4. Who cares?
Right.
I have that hand. Look what's going to happen. Fold, fold, boom. That's awesome.
Yeah, Trevor's got enough there where he can fold a few more times, but not too many.
What are the blinds now? They're
6 and 12, I believe.
600, 1200 now.
I'm
So-
pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a bit. It's a big chunk. I mean, he just picked up 1,800 chips right there with king 4. People look real down. Look at Trevor. He's like, man,
It's a grind.
it is a grind. Just got to keep on it. Keep patience, and you'll get hands like that. And there's some people like Papa Z is gotten really low in chips. I mean, he absolutely has to do something. He has like 5 big blinds.
Yeah, I would.
That's getting almost too low.
I would ship it here if I was Papa and he folded
Well,
it.
last blind level he was in the right before the button that cut off, and he folded queen 10 of hearts. Just open folded it. It was amazing to me. I couldn't believe it. This is interesting. The limp in. Why not? Why not? Let's give Rick a chance to get something.
Yeah.
Fortunately for him, Rick has no part of it.
Yeah, Trevor gave him one shot. I felt like Trevor abused Rick a few hands in a row, and then Rick re-raised him one hand last time. And I wasn't sure that Rick was that strong.
Yeah, I think he was.
Was
I
he?
can't remember the exact hand, but I'm pretty sure he never messed around. I'm pretty sure he actually had it. Might even have had ace king or something.
Yeah, he looked like he was just getting sick of it.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember. Can you see the cards on that thing? Oh, okay.
Rick picks up a big hand.
At this stage in the tournament, I feel like his only option is to shove, but I've seen crazy things happen, so... And Brad's been getting pretty comfortable with raising, but looks like he's not going to this time. Even Chris is getting short.
Yeah. Chris is just looked like he's been
And this is frustrating here.
card dead.
You know, when you're in the big blind, you're short stacked, and then the small blind raises you, you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
man, this sucks. And he can't even do anything because he only raised. He didn't shove, so he has no shot.
Yeah. He asked for me to be out of there dealing. His cards were so bad.
Well, Everybody blames the dealer. Except me. I don't care who deals. Trevor looking elegant with his scarf. Must be cold out there. See, Rick has his scarf on also.
Right there. Right there. There's no advantage for me in that day. No problem.
Pop under the gun. Can't do anything with that. And he is just stuck. Trevor's chipping away. That's all he needs to do is just stay afloat.
Yeah, if you can just stay where you're at, chip up a little bit till you can get your double up.
And this is a point where I feel like I'm almost shoving every big blind when somebody that short just limps into me on the small blind. I know it might not be the best play, but I just feel like they're shipping any hand. They're not trying to trap. They're trying to get the chips in, you know. So when they just limp in from the small blind and they only have 5 big blinds, I'm gonna just chip it. They're gonna have to play for the whole stack, and most of the time they won't. They'll just fold and pick up a blind.
After he checked it back there, I would.
Yeah, even here, I mean.
Yeah, even well after he checked behind, Brad checked behind. If Chris there, I'm betting.
I don't know. It's hard because he can afford to play hands tricky. Brad can, so it's a tough spot for Chris. But I think if I was Brad, I for sure am just betting no matter
fire.
what.
Yeah, fire on the flop no matter what. If
you have
if you
the
don't
chips.
Raise, yeah.
It's your advantage. You didn't take advantage of it.
What's Dan talking about?
Try not to pay any attention to Dan.
I never do either. It's always some gibberish.
And none are for me. Isn't that crazy? It's a rough life over here. That's all that good living that I do, I guess.
A round of great hands here.
Chris here.
He's like, he loves it. When he looks at this look, he's like, thank goodness.
All in.
It's time to shove.
All in.
I've been waiting for this and waiting
All
for this.
you can eat.
And nobody's calling. So he will pick up 1,800 chips.
Which right now is huge.
Oh, it's great. He's like, thank you. He's like, I need to do that more often. And that's the thing, you know. He has the button. If it folds them, he should do it. Why not?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you have to lose?
I might not even have looked.
The only problem, though, with that is that Brad is right to his left and has so many chips that, like, 6,000 to him is...
Right.
It's not really that much. I mean, you could just toss that in with any hand. Just trying to eliminate a player and move up.
Brad with the ace on the button.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if it folds to him, he's gonna...
Papa's got 2 suited cards. Sometimes he'll go with that.
Yeah, it's just hard because I feel like Brad's gonna raise this button. And if Brad raises, it's kind of a weird spot for Papa, but I mean, he's just so short that I feel like he has to no matter what. He has to call. Or ship for that matter.
Yeah, if he's calling, he's got it. You might as well ship. Instamox.
He's playing the Paul Moskowitz style. I can agree. He's playing a little tighter than Paul. Just a small.
I'll tell you what.
Small fraction.
An Annie style tournament would just eat Papa Z up.
Oh yeah. If you had Annie, that's the type of player you would like to play with. Somebody that literally folds every hand and has to put money in the pot. It's like free money.
Yeah. I haven't played a lot of them, and I really enjoy it. It
changes the dynamic a little bit.
A whole new concept to it.
It's cool. It makes it more worth your while to raise and get blinds. And Here we might see some fun.
Papa with a suited ace.
I mean, Chris is shipping it. He can't get tricky here. He has to put it all
Yeah.
in. Brad's folding. Papa, question mark. I mean, he just folded King 9 suited.
Yeah.
Now he has an ace, maybe. He's in there. He's had enough. And then now Rick. I mean, this is gonna be a tough spot for Rick. You know how he likes his suited cards. In my opinion, it's a fold no matter what. But
I could see him calling though, with the chance to triple up almost.
I could see him calling, but you've played this far, and it's
Yeah.
your tournament life on the line, and 2 people are all in front of you. So that makes your King Jack really, really tiny,
Yeah.
and he does the right thing. So
move up another pay spot if Papa gets knocked out.
we have one player threatened to be eliminated. That's Papa Z. He does have 1 over, and we're gonna see what happens.
Chris, a pretty big favorite here. But as we know in poker, that means absolutely nothing.
I feel a queen come in, give him some life. All right, I feel a 10 coming on the river. Maybe not. I just want the pain. It didn't happen, so we are still 5-handed. And now
And,
it's Chris who is short stacked.
and I
Very.
think Rick is just ecstatic that he didn't call.
He's like, thank goodness, thank goodness.
Because he'd have flopped a nut flush.
Oh, he would have been in there no
second
matter
pair,
what.
Yeah.
He would have never folded when he saw that flop. And he is just happy inside. He's like, man, I almost made the biggest mistake besides that hand that I 3-bet with Queen Jack. Because that was also a big mistake. But we won't bring that up again. I'll just let that one
Yeah,
go.
like I said, when I was out there, it just seemed to me he was getting really frustrated with getting raised by Chris and, Brad and
Yeah.
Trevor.
I mean, when somebody's next to you, sitting to your left or right, and they're just raising you and raising you and raising you, you start to get fed up. And that's where a lot of people make mistakes. And that could have led up to the Queen Jack hand. That could have been why he did that.
No drinks at it, ever.
Rick here on the button. Absolutely is all in. And he's just posturing because there's no way he's calling with 10-7.
Did you maybe you fully true?
Well, that's Trevor. They're not showing Chris's hand.
Oh,
They look like
Oh.
25. Good luck.
Yeah.
so he calls. I don't know what his hand is.
Good luck.
I didn't catch what it was.
Did not either. I don't think it ever showed up.
Good luck.
We get an overhead view.
Ace Jack. I can't
Of course
see
it's
him.
of course it's in the it's right in the light. It's probably like King 10 or something.
Sure. We'll have
And if it was King 10, that's pretty good chances for him.
Straight for him.
There's a straight, queen high straight. For,
Straight takes it, I'm assuming.
Good game, guys.
and that's all there is for Chris.
That's all it is.
We are in the money, right?
You're always in the money. We have one more for the big one.
And we're down to 4.
I see what happened. I need a chip count for Papa Z.
And we're getting some updated chip counts.
5, 6, 7, 8, 95, 10,000 even.
Papa Z with 10,000 even.
Which is still,
But it's good.
it's anybody's game, really. Brad does have the advantage, but 1 all in, that's all it takes. Chip exchange, you never know what can happen. I've been behind in many tournaments, and then all of a sudden was the chip leader within
No,
like 4 hands.
absolutely.
Don't even know what happened. I blinked.
Look at the World Series of Poker main event.
Oh,
the guy
man.
was down to what? 6 big blinds. He's come
Ends up
back and win it.
Wins it, yeah. Never know what can happen. Here's Rick. I feel like this is a. Oh, he raised it.
Did you?
Looks like he raised it to something.
Dealer button is on.
Rick.
So he made it 2,400, possibly.
Sorry for the technical difficulties here.
I need the action.
24. Trevor folded. Rick raised at 24. Brad
Man, I'm
called.
good.
Yeah, Brad called.
Yep. Two players in folded.
Brad called with the Jack
Yeah,
10.
How is he
right?
folded?
Yeah, we're good.
Brad loosening up slightly.
And
I would say that's a decent flop for Rick. I'm pretty sure he likes that.
Check, check.
well, at least he checked it.
A check is alright, but honestly, I would just bet. Because it looks stronger if it goes check and then you bet.
And then, okay,
I mean,
see
now
what you're
it's like,
saying.
it's almost like you're like, okay, I had a king and I was trying to trick you. Because you're going to bet, you know, if I raise pre-flop or if I'm in a pot and I'm in position and it checks to me, I'm always betting. So if I don't bet, it seems kind of fishy
Yeah.
to me. It
No,
seems a
I
little-
understand. I've played that way several times, just because they don't expect it. You know, if he's flopped trips, he's not going to lead out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like raising pre-flop. Say I have nines and I raise and somebody calls me and I hit top set or I hit a set of nines. I'm not
Lead
going
out.
to check it. I'm just
Yeah.
going to bet just like I normally would. I mean, it's when you don't bet and then it looks kind of fishy. It's getting down to the wire here.
We're getting to the nitty gritty.
So usually I feel like if it folds around, you would see Papa Z shove, but
Yeah,
you know how Papa
no,
plays,
Yeah.
so it's he might
Rick-
just fold.
Rick raises with his king 6.
Well, it is suited, and he must still feel like he has a bunch of chips, but it works. It works somehow, and he's just chipping up again.
You can see why Papa has the cockroach card protector.
Because he's just sticking around.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out. He's ready to just come out of nowhere and chip up.
It's hard to finish off.
Well, I'd say what usually happens with Papa is he kind of finishes himself off.
Yeah. Trevor with ace 10.
That's going to be a ship,
Yeah.
I would imagine. Unless Rick, well, he's gonna ship before Rick, so I guess we'll see what happens. Don't
He
be
ain't
tricky.
shipping.
For some reason, he's being tricky. Well, I guess he recognizes that everybody's kind of short, so he's gonna raise. But I just don't imagine him ever raise folding. And if Rick's gonna call his raise,
Yeah, you
and
get,
then
you
you're
might
kind of
as
in
well
this.
ship.
You're in this spot. You have an ace. It's pre-flop. You don't know. I mean, what if Rick ships here? Are you really gonna fold? I just feel like shipping it. Just you don't make any mistakes doing that. Here you can set yourself up to make mistakes.
Yeah, say Rick calls here and
Yeah, the
flops
flop.
a 6.
Yeah, you flop nothing, and then
Yeah, and then you ship and he flops a 6.
I mean, you could stop and go or whatever. But Rick likes suited cards like we've noticed before.
Is he cutting out a raise?
It looks like he's cutting out a raise. And he says, nope, you know what? I'm just calling. Which that looks weak. Looks really weak to me. But here's the thing about just raising. I just, you know, you're giving him an opportunity to have a hand. And now you have to play guesswork. So
Yeah.
now you're putting your tournament life on the line of just hoping that he doesn't have anything. See, I don't know. I don't understand what Trevor's doing. I mean, I see what he's doing, and he won. But it's just like now what if Rick calls here? Then what?
Yeah, you've already
You have
got
3,500
you
and
got,
you're
well, you got 70% of your stack in the
you're just
pot.
giving it
Yeah.
up on hoping that he didn't hit a jack or something.
Ideal right here.
I don't know about the play, Trevor, but
It worked.
you got some chips. And he's like, whoo! Look, he's taking his drink. He's like, whoo! Can breathe easy now. My little bluff right there worked.
Sipping on his gin and juice.
Price of poker going up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think he should just ship it all the time pre-flop. There's no reason for that mess. The blinds are just too short to be messing around like that. And he could have gave away all his stack right there. I mean, you see, he calls with King 6. He could have called with Jack 4.
five,
Yeah, whatever. I mean, oh my goodness.
Did he just open fold ace jack?
No, I still feel like
That's the second hand I've seen him do that. I don't understand what he's waiting for a pair. He's not gonna get his hand in unless he has a pair, I guess. I don't. That's the people that will they'll sit around and try to like jump up in spots, and they end up just not giving themselves a chance to even win. When you play tournaments, you should be playing for first, not for fourth or third.
Yeah. Unless you're playing like the World Series main event or something.
I mean, even then, I mean, your pay jumps are amazing. I mean, if you get to the final table of the World Series and everybody has $1 million, you're gonna try to get first. You want 10 million. The pay jumps are huge in that, so there is some strategy.
Rick moved all in with nines. Brad has ace 10. Is
And this is kind of
contemplating a call.
It's tough because he wants to call because he does have ace 10, but he has so many more chips than everybody else. So like for him to be able to fold,
a better spot.
yeah, he doesn't have to call. I still can't get over that ace jack hand.
That was amazing.
That's why you know when you play
How you-
against Papa, like you fold when he raises because I mean look what he's open folds ace jack, he open fold queen 10 suited.
He's on the extreme short stack.
Nobody raises in front of him. I mean that just hurts my feelings. Yeah, Kerry, if you're watching this, give him one little lesson, and that's when you have a short stack and you have ace 9 plus. With his stack, anything really. If I have 10-9, I'm going all in. They're 8 and 16 now.
All right, now if Brad raises here,
see, here you go. There you go, Trevor. You get a walk.
I was gonna say if Brad raises here, does Trevor ship with the threes?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know I would.
I mean, I would have to. There'd be no reason not to. Brad is just. Alright, I want to see some pain in this hand. I want somebody to beat pain. Oh yeah. That's the first aces we've had the whole tournament.
Oh, and Trevor's we got a suited king in the small blind.
Trevor might, I mean, last time he raised with this, and here we go. Bad timing. No, he made it 1600. So this is interesting that is that a min raise or a call? Yeah, it's a min raise.
See,
And I feel like this is Trevor's gonna get himself in trouble if he. Yeah, he's looking at Boston's, or he's looking at Papa's stack. Thank you for folding. I got scared he was gonna like get a little tricky.
I actually
First ace. Nice.
I actually
You
blind
still lost
versus
it.
blind love sometimes to just flat there too.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody that's got a short stack that I know is going to get aggressive.
I think at this point the chips are so valuable though, even picking up that raise.
Trevor might chip it here.
I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, I think Trevor's recognized that everybody's so short though, he doesn't have to ship. He can just raise. Even though, you know, technically everybody has 10 big blinds, you should be shipping with 10, but
Yeah.
when the effective stack is so low, it's a big portion of somebody else's stack too. So you're kind of doing the same thing. He basically is shipping, but he's not. You know, he still has 10,000 behind, which is quite a bit of chips. If he has to fold here, I mean, he still has 10,000. He can make double up and be right back in it.
65.
Rick is just giving it to him though. He's like, look, man, you're not playing any hands right now. It's like, you got to get through my house. And this is going to be a tough spot again. I mean, but this is why he raised and didn't ship. So he's getting the information he requested. It's just whether or not he's going to listen to it or not. There he goes. And, I mean, Rick, I don't think...
It's not, I mean, it's a raise. It's not horrible.
Yeah, Rick's never folding. And now Trevor's like...
Good luck.
No, he called. So here we go. One time, he's asking.
10.
That absolutely means nothing, though.
Yeah, he still has the overs. I mean... And there it is.
Yep. And Trevor is out in fourth.
And that's what I was talking about. It's almost better to ship pre-flop. I mean, if he think about that, if he ships pre-flop there, it's really hard for ace 10 to call. It's really hard for that to happen.
Thanks, Trevor. Again.
The button goes there, right?
And then Papa squeaks through. Papa squeaks through into third place with his minuscule stack. He just hangs on.
Cockroach.
Huh?
Cockroach.
2, 4, 5, 58.
And then Rick and Brad are 100 apart. Each have 31,000.
$100 apart.
Yeah.
Rick and Brad have almost identical stacks.
So if it ended now, I win.
Yep. The end of the world comes, you win.
Right.
I'm not a blind.
No, you're first.
You act first.
Yep, and Papa has 4,200. So I foresee a heads-up match between Rick and Brad. I'm just taking a wild guess.
Going out on a limb there, huh?
We got 42. I'm all in. I got a look. I haven't looked yet.
And Brad just goes all in.
No, I can't. Maybe next time.
I would do that every time.
Yeah,
Papa.
absolutely.
Every time.
There. Playing some decent, I would call me.
And if I'm Papa there, I call without even looking.
Exactly. I mean, his stack's so short, he has to.
Yeah.
It's like every single hand he gets, he has to play. It's like right now, this next hand, chip it. You're on the button. Doesn't matter. It's three-handed. You've held on long enough. It's time to try to double up. Because even if he doubles up, he has 8,000.
If he doubles up twice, he's still a huge.
He's at 8,000, and he
Yeah.
has 16,000. I mean, you have a lot of work. You have to win flips, and you don't get enough hands three-handed to afford to sit around and wait.
You're slacking,
I
Tony.
think I unplugged it.
You're slacking, Tony.
Red did full.
Like right here, this has to be an all-in, no matter what. Oh, he folded ace-jack, so I mean, I'll give it to him. Whatever his strategy was, it worked.
Yeah, it worked for him, yep.
He got down to third place, but man, I couldn't resist. I'd see an ace and I would start drooling. He's just hanging around.
says no.
Papa probably just folded ace-10.
Well, and these two guys should
See you,
not
Trevor.
be playing a hand against each
No.
other. Until
The way it
Papa's
should go
gone.
right now is Rick should raise and
Brad
Brad
should
should just
dance him
respect
up.
it
Yeah.
and just be like, you know what? We're deep as heck. We have this one guy who has 3,500. I mean, there's just no reason to mess around. I mean, he is in position with an ace, but still, it's just one of those situations. It's just
Yeah. See, this is you just don't want to get involved in a hand with him here.
up against a min raise though. I mean, I might have to call. I'd have to call at least. Yeah, a call is fine. I mean, you don't want to get in this huge pot though, with Papa being so short. Let's bring some pain. Let's see a what? Oh, okay. I feel like Brad's probably gonna fold here.
Yeah, I would
Just taking a
bet-
guess. Maybe.
What
No,
would be
he's
a
folding.
killer there was a 9-3-3 flop.
Boy,
That would have been amazing.
just that low. I would have called and then
Yeah, and then you would
I would have sucked out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't ever suck out, so that's good.
Yeah, that's why you got so many chips.
Shots fired.
Dead Hoy.
Shots fired at the buzzer there.
That hurts.
Gloves are off.
So here we are. When you can hold all your chips in your hand at this point, it's not a good sign. Feel like it's not a good sign.
Is it chips or chip?
Yeah, if you say chip without an S, then you're really hurting. Somebody's car phone is ringing.
Alright, I'm all in. Gotta see what I got. Sure.
Says I'm all in.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, what the hell?
Like that.
What the hell? I got an
an.
ace. I'm in
I
there.
have a king.
I got an ace.
Hey,
Oh,
he's got king
ace
4
three I
suited.
got.
I mean,
Alright. I got
it's
one
not
less
that
I
big
called,
an
I got an ace.
underdog.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's I mean,
Yeah.
and he doesn't mind. He has 30,000
Oh, yeah.
in chips. It's nothing. I would literally be putting Papa Z all in every single hand.
Yeah,
There's one heart.
Oh,
There's
man.
2 hearts. Ooh.
Put black ones up there. There you go. Put it on the black one.
So many outs.
Ace high, huh? Oh, that's cockroach.
The cockroach.
The cockroach. The most. The cockroach. Absolutely the most. The cockroach.
But you know what? Blinds are up so high that he goes through one orbit and he's back to where he was.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not that big.
There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
He folds his blinds one time around.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
right back.
I'm feeling pretty good.
I
It's a
got
coin
hit.
flip, right?
I gotta hit one card or any heart. And missed it.
You
That's
saved
the
that.
TMO syndrome there. Too many outs.
He's way better at dealing than Paul Boston.
You never hit when you have that many outs. It's just not possible.
You're first.
I'm glad what's the name deal.
Yeah.
They teach you that in poker school.
Why?
You'd be out.
You're right. I'd have been on a long
Feeling bad?
time ago.
Sweet. There's always one that likes me and one that hates me.
Always.
Now right here, if I'm Brad, I'm just calling.
Hmm.
What? No, I'm trying to get Papa Z in.
Yeah, but your hand still is only king
Well,
6. So
no, yeah, with king 6,
I feel like you want to raise no matter what. I mean,
I'm not sure.
if you're trying to get Papa Z in, if you're never gonna fold, I would always be raising the button. Because if he doesn't have, if he doesn't have anything, he's folding. You want to just keep eating up his blinds. And here we go. It's the battle of the big stacks again, which is opposite of what you want, but
You say king jack
Oh,
6
man.
would be just brutal, wouldn't it?
he just lets him off the hook. He's like, hey, you know what? I could check to you and let you bet, but I'm just gonna just make you fold. Let me just get you out of this pot real quick and save you.
Isn't that awesome?
It does feel good.
But Brad is, even though the chip stacks look large, relative to the blinds, it's not that large.
No.
You see like Brad, a few hands, he's down to 20,000 almost now. and he was at 32,000. It's just
Well, that's what I mean. When they get the heads up, the blinds are so high, it's pretty much a crapshoot. Just whoever gets lucky.
I mean, honestly, I can say the heads up battle I would not want to see is Rick versus Papa Z. That would really hurt my feelings. I just not anything against Papa Z, but I just think the action would be dull to say the least. So here we are. Brad has a real hand. Oh, and this might be devastating because this is going to be an action hand. I mean, raise at 32. I feel like he's gonna re-raise. I mean, you're three-handed. You have King Jack. Yeah, I mean, I cannot see anything else happening, unless he's just like some soul read sick in the head person, and he just lets it go right now. But I feel like this is he just called, which is good. I mean, that's very disciplined on his end. But what you would hate to see is a king high flop. That would just be the end all. So he might actually get away easy. Oh, even easier.
God, is he? He's winning these hands, but
he's winning the hands, but he could be winning more.
A lot more. He's just giving up so much value.
I mean, granted, he might not have got, just because we can see the hands, he might not have gotten any more chips. But
well, yeah, but you take the chance.
You're definitely not getting any more chips if you're putting the second place person all in when there's somebody shorter. It's never gonna happen. He's gonna fold everything. He might even fold. Second pair there. Yes. He might even fold a straight. I'm just kidding.
No, I think he might have folded top pair.
All right. So, and look at Papa's stack again, 4,400. It's like he's just hanging on. He's just hanging around.
4. Alright, I'm all in. Okay, let me look, see if I can call you.
He's not gonna call. Folded ace jack. He folded ace jack. He's not calling with king 9. This has got to be very frustrating for Brad.
Yeah, he just be thankful that Rick didn't give him a chance to hang himself.
Oh yeah,
ever.
I mean, that's one good thing I can say in Brad's position. I mean, he has the huge stack that's basically playing his hands face up and just shoving when he has it and letting him off the hook, and then he has Papa who's like short stack. So he's in a good spot. It's just got to be frustrating. I know sitting in his place, I'd be like grinding my teeth, like, come on, like here he gets the button, he's like, I can't do anything, and he knows Papa's just gonna fold and give away another 1,000. That's just how he rolls.
I'll give you back.
25% of his stack just gave it away.
He's back to where before he doubled up the first time.
I had a 6-8. What was it even suited? 2,000. 3,000.
Wow.
I want to see the blue deck. Blue deck.
All right, so I feel like this is the hand. This is where we're gonna get the heads up right here. This one.
Alright, Papa Z.
No, he's folding.
Nah, don't like those. Rick's all in.
Yeah, raise.
To 5,000.
I think Brad's
That's actually a normal raise for once. I've seen him. He's made 4x, all these different raises.
He's been doing some min raising the last several.
Maybe somebody texted him on the break.
Yeah, he clicked back Trevor a couple times.
He's killing it. He must have studied up before his game. He's like, I know what min raises are all about, and I'm all about that life.
2 more hands.
2 more hands, Papa said.
That means he can fold one more.
Yeah, you the button.
I mean, he's got. Look at that. He has one chip behind.
He can fold and be all in.
He's
in a
blinding
small blind.
out. This is not what you want to do in tournaments. He's blinding out. Of course you are. You have to call.
I got one more hand.
Oh my god.
One more hand, I'm all in.
I can't. It's paining me.
Good luck. I'm all in.
It's all in by default.
And you're big.
Cannot make a blind.
I'm not even looking.
I mean, you have a face card and an 8. I mean, he's all in.
Put him there.
I'm not even looking at it.
Yeah, Brad should call with any 2 cards.
I'm not even looking at it. I'll let you guys look at yours.
I don't know. Rick really likes suited cards and he likes low aces. So this is scary if you're in Brad's situation and you raise it up.
42.
I really don't understand this.
I don't either. I mean, in this exact situation,
Yeah.
for a pay or for a jump and jumping places, you want to
knock
just
the guy
go
out.
three-handed and see the flop. Check it all the way down. Who cares? You're not trying to break the bank on this hand. You're just trying to eliminate a player. That's worth it more than winning chips. So now he calls. Now you're in a bloated pot, and now we get to see what happens when you do this.
Brad flops.
Now, I mean, he has the king high flush draw also. Oh my god.
Papa makes a full house.
And guess what? Guess who's going to win the side pot? Ace high. So you just bloated this pot up, and now Rick gets richer.
Oh, look at that. Turned over a 7. Cockroach.
I think you got that one.
Cockroach, he says. He's hanging around. God.
Oh.
I wish I had more money. I'd be better.
Well, look, Rick's second chips for no reason. I mean, he got so many chips. It cost Rick nothing basically. He just gained money to put 3,000 more chips in.
Oh, I'm the dealer. Okay, good. Okay, good. Small and
And now, I mean, in Brad's spot, you're gonna start worrying a little bit. I mean, Papa's staying alive, and you're losing chips to Rick. I mean, it's starting to be a shutout. And if I'm Rick, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm just gonna keep shoving on everybody. Why not? It's been working.
Oh, I'm first. Oh, I'm sorry.
Brad's so short now. He's got
Yeah.
to be thinking he's got.
I mean, but he doesn't. I mean, he can still just all he's worried about is out beating Papa Z right now.
No chances.
And it's
Well, I mean, if you're thinking like you were talking earlier, you're thinking win and win only. You're not thinking move up one pace spot.
with somebody that short though. I mean, he's so short. He has 3,000. Like, why? You want to go out before him?
Right.
You would feel like so bad. They go out and then like one hand later,
no,
Papa
I'm
Z
not
gets
saying
fucked.
that, but if you get a hand where you got to play,
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. You're never just folding hands because,
yeah.
but you're not playing like anything mediocre to try to outplay people. All right. And now Papa Z is all in with the best hand
Hangs on.
and is just hanging on. It's the shirt, guys. It's the shirt.
No. Man, he's over goofy space again. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. He's got a
Oh man.
What a flop.
Put a red one up there. No, he got it.
Oh
There you go.
jeez.
Straight flush.
Yeah, he got it.
No, it's a flush.
Straight.
Cockroach got defeated.
And we have lost our player number 3, Papa Z. So We are down to heads up.
Pause it and then play heads up.
Yep. Tony, I come in third in the league and I come in third here.
That's a coincidence.
So evidently
Yeah.
you can
That
fold
is a
your way to
coincidence.
third place every time.
You can fold your way to third place.
Good deal.
Math,
I'm gonna let
it has to
Paulie
align.
get heads up then. Did that button move?
Paul does fold pretty much every hand.
Yeah, he folded.
That's
He
yeah.
folded his button.
That means I'm small, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back momentarily for this heads up battle.
Huh? Why can't you? I mean, it's
No, it's just like he was.
playing par for the course.
He was like, and like you have to call it anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't even know why I looked at my
Welcome back to Poker on Air, Akron Poker League final game, and we're down to our heads up battle between Rick and
Brad,
Brad. That's right. Lost his name.
we've only been watching them for 6 hours,
I'm tired.
but exciting. It's come all the way to this. We get to see this battle. Look at them guys.
It'll be a fierce heads up battle.
I feel like they have their gloves on now. Seems like Rick has taken most of the chips on the table. I don't know. Papa Z gave him his chips. Trevor,
Yeah,
casualty to Rick. It's awesome.
Brad gave him quite a bit too.
Yeah, everybody's giving Rick
level.
chips.
The last
Rick's just
level.
a chip collector.
It's a good thing to be in a poker tournament.
He's a chip dump truck.
The guy that put the video together was really great.
All right, let's send it back out to them. Let's shuffle up and deal. Let's see what kind of heads up battle we get here.
Paul's tweeting.
30 seconds left on the clock.
He's at Twitter.
Yeah, you deal him first, right?
Okay.
And here we go.
You'll be first there.
Now I hope they play this like they mean it, you know? I have a feeling Rick's going to be going all in a lot. Like maybe even this hand. Because why not?
Didn't get a chance.
He would have. I know he would have.
I don't know if he wants to get too crazy. I mean, I think he's only got what, a
Just
2 to 1
20,000,
chip?
yeah. I mean, he's not really that
Yeah, one
huge
double
stack.
up and he's a 2-to-1 chip leader.
But still, I mean, your heads up. You have an ace. I'm
you
doing
wanna
whatever.
apply pressure. Yeah.
I'm taking everything. If he raised, I would just go all in. If he called, I would go all in. If he did anything, I was pretty much going all in. Here we go. This should definitely be a raise. I'm glad to see he's raising. But
And
Brad
I like
has
the min
sevens.
raise.
Now it's just if he can get away from it if Brad shoves here, which I believe he should.
Raise announced.
And in Brad's position, even if I didn't have sevens, sometimes I like to do this at the beginning of a heads-up match, just so I can see what the other player's going to do. Because if they fold, I might think that I can raise them a lot when they raise me on the button. Maybe they just raise every
How
button.
much did he raise? We don't have it in there.
All in is announced.
He raised all in.
Oh, okay.
And you just have to fold. I mean, you got your information.
I like the plug.
There we go. He picks up 4,000 chips. Just like that.
Normal heads up battle, you're raising the button.
I mean, I'd say almost every
Almost
hand.
every
It's
time.
almost natural. I mean, some people do limp the button. It's just It depends on your style, but I think raising is where it's at. But I mean, chip stacks aren't that deep, so you could see a lot of limping, and it wouldn't be a bad strategy.
First act here.
And he's going to apply that strategy, I think. Nope, he's doing the right thing. Almost a string bet.
45.
And here we are, heads up. Does he still like suited cards?
I like the call.
I don't see why not. I mean, you almost, in heads up, once somebody should be raising the button, and then you're almost always calling from the big blind. It's just how it happens. And here we are.
The action is right there. That is correct. He'll have first act.
Oh,
And he lets him off the hook again. He's like, you know what?
yeah.
I don't think you have any part of that. And I'm going to show you that you don't. He is collecting chips, though.
You can't knock that. But there's sometimes I think he could have collected a lot more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who knows if Rick would have bet there on the flop.
Sometimes you gotta let your opponent give him a chance to
The
bluff.
button is good.
The button is.
I mean, heads up, second pair is just huge.
It's too good.
Yeah.
It's too good. And I'm sure you'll find out real quick if it isn't.
And then actions on Rick.
Oh, hello. Look, he's like, oh boy, what do I do with these kings?
Option.
Did he just call?
He
Oh,
just called. I love
that's
it.
really good though. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't see that in his arsenal. He's going all in and he's raising.
I love it.
I mean, I don't mind that. As long as he limps other hands.
This could be it.
It could be. I mean, that's still a pretty draw heavy board, and he might be suspicious. I mean, this is the first time Rick's limped. I mean, I know they haven't played that many hands, but it's the first time he's limped this heads up match at least.
All in.
And
All in on a call.
snap calls.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
see what happens. But
Well
This could
played by Rick, even if he doesn't.
look, Brad is just ashamed. He's like, man, it happened, and it happens to everybody. The limp trap. It's like so obvious, but yet,
9 for a chop.
Him.
and that's it.
Thank you.
And
Brad will
that's
get
all it
second,
is.
and Rick is our
Rick
champion.
takes it down.
Nice job, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
There's me.
Don't forget to keep watching for our
Let me get a picture
Chase
and
the
then
Bracelet Season 5 coming in March, I believe. And you can join our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/ChaseTheBracelet. You like our page, and we'll give you updates all the time on when we're going to be having games. And we broadcast cash games, some tournaments. So until next time, we'll see you later.
See you guys next time.
Hold up the